You can't eat money.
Every day that you open your mouth, I'm more convinced that you're abducted by aliens.
I'm just telling you what I remember. Holy moly.
And then one time they taste your blood, and then they eat your liver.
Right.
She's a witch. She turned me into a newt.
That's the sound of the harmonica flying through the air.
Biologically speaking, very nice.
It's nice. Okay.
It's nice. Beating a sheep to death.
Oh.
I got stuff for you you don't even know about.
Until I get my ham hands on you.
I know it's got big ham hands. It can't do nothing.
That's what I'm saying. I never heard that. It's hands the size of hams. What? Who wrote this?
And you're like, oh, this is neat. I'll see this next year on an article.
Yeah.
Write my little paper and then send it on to the back of the house.
And then it.
The back of the house.
Yeah.
Welcome to Cryptids of the Corn podcast.
Still going.
Welcome back to part 6 of the season finale.
Jeepers creepers.
I am the great and Dynamite Mr. E.
And I'm JClone33.
And we've recorded these back to back to back to back to back to back.
I think you got them all. If not, there might have been an extra.
No, so
Feels like
this episode will be our last 2 remaining areas on-ish the planet and the what could be happening with the dinosaur scene around them. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this. I don't know. This is very different than any season finale we've ever done.
For sure.
They're always different, though. They all have different flavors. So this one is very much flavors of the forest. Very relaxed, kind of many sightings.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what have you liked it so far?
So far, it's been interesting.
Has it?
A lot of dinosaurs still around the world.
I'm just saying, you talked like you hated it a lot in the intermission of the rest.
I think it's a long
You said you hated the
hours.
listeners. You said you hated everybody.
Well, now outright lies on this show, I don't condone.
I'm just saying.
So you might want to correct the record there. That's just mean.
You were mean.
To who?
To me. I put a lot of work into this.
Just to you.
210 pages. This is a lot of work.
Hey, I added.
Yeah. No, you suggested one thing that then I added more pages.
But was it on there?
All right. So you ready to get into it?
I was born ready.
Okay, because this is probably going to be a 4-hour episode.
All right. A quick recap. Started with North America, went to South America, then we jumped over to Asia, and then I think we were in Europe and Africa
No,
next.
it was Australia.
I brought the Australian ones and the Indonesia.
Yeah.
Like those, all this Papua New Guinea, all those islands. Then it was Europe and Africa.
Yes. And I mispronounce countries, places, things in every place, including North America. So I'm an equal opportunity mispronouncer.
That's fair.
Yes.
That's nice of you.
All right. Yes.
You're fair.
I'm fair. I can't read American words.
Right.
Let alone African words. Swahili and Aboriginal. Oh my gosh.
You might be better at some of them actually, just by chance.
Pure dumb luck.
Yeah.
I think I got one of them 100% correct. I can't remember which continent it was.
Let me check my calendar, see when that was.
Yeah. Same day.
I have it marked.
We've been recording for 7 hours.
Oh, yeah, today.
We've been recording a lot.
You don't have to remind me.
But we've had bacon and eggs and ribs, and now there's steaks in the smoker.
Yay.
So I feed you,
I brought the steaks, though.
but I'm cooking them.
What, passively? I seasoned them. I did just
I
as
told
much.
you what to season. You know nothing.
You know what we seasoned them with? Flavors of the Force. The newest flavor.
Lion's mane.
Lion's mane.
I'll tell you what, that was my favorite one for meat.
Yeah, absolutely. It's probably the best meat garlic additive you can add to any form, any protein.
All right. So where's the last two frontiers? What continent did I leave off?
You're missing Antarctica.
I'm missing Antarctica.
Yeah.
Now let's get into the dinosaurs of Antarctica.
Wow. Now, how many researchers are down there to see or see claims of dinosaurs?
So here's our first encounter. I don't have any.
Oh,
You know how many hours I devoted to just finding any scrap of anything?
no fossils?
We have fossils. We'll talk about that.
Okay.
I'm talking about recent encounters, recent
Right,
sight, anything. Because people traditionally, it's viewed people don't live there until relatively recently.
Right.
And there's I think there's 3 places now where people live in Antarctica. There's the one big Antarctic base you can go to. That's the one you can pay to go to.
Right.
And then there's 2 research stations besides that place.
Okay.
That place is also a research station.
Right.
And there are small like runways and stuff like that. There are a cluster of things. I looked and looked. I was even on a Japanese website for a fishing vessel cryptids encountered because they go down there and fish.
Yeah.
International waters. And it was all seriously in Japanese, and I had to run Google Translate to find. I couldn't find one. The only ones I could find that kind of were maybe dinosaurs was the Godzilla-like creature.
Yeah.
And we already covered that one in a previous episode. Mm-hmm. So really, I couldn't find nothing.
Like the Bloop and Point Nemo, maybes. Maybe.
It's dinosaurs, yes. A giant egg.
Maybe.
So I did put it on the list because it has a continent.
I thought. Oh, wait. Never mind. Go on.
No, so there have been dinosaurs in Antarctica. Antarctica is only recently cold.
Right.
There are still green parts of Antarctica.
Right.
We don't actually know the actual size of the continent underneath the ice sheet.
Ain't that convenient?
Well, because like we talked about on Freaky Fauna Friday, the ice fish, the nesting ground, the biggest nesting ground in the world.
Yes.
But it's all underneath an ice sheet.
Yep.
They didn't know how far back. They thought there was continental shelf a lot sooner than there was.
Right.
So the actual
mostly ice.
land mass is a lot smaller. It's hard to tell. We don't really know. We know the mountain range, so we at least know the backbone of the continental shelf or of the continent there.
Right.
But we don't really know how much is ice or whatever. And it's relatively recently cold, geologically speaking.
Okay.
So there's only been a handful of dinosaur fossils found in Antarctica. One of them is an ankylosaur relative. So like we've already talked about several times throughout these episodes. A big armor-plated, dinosaur may have may not had a club tail. They had both. But yeah, don't know. There's not people there. There is people.
That's why I was asking at the top.
There's 5,000 people and then a couple research stations of a couple hundred people.
Who's there to witness one? That's the biggest thing.
You can't like walk around.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean?
So there could be stuff there, but
the areas I think there could be anything resembling a dinosaur.
yeah.
Which I don't. There's no food.
Would it be beyond like the wall where Admiral Byrd flew?
Yes, is beyond the ice
Or
wall.
open back up into tropical, mountainous, just teeming with life.
Or they came out of the hollow earth, wherever that big hole is at the bottom, because
Yeah.
they flew into a hole.
It's the same difference.
And they leak out every once in a while, and then they die because it's friggin' Antarctica.
If they come out of that hole, yeah. That's why they come up through the cracks in Africa.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or several caves. We talked about caves in pretty much every episode. I think South America was the only one we talked about. And there was desert, which has caves.
Yeah. But South America is full of other things that they can all hide in. So, Amazon rainforest.
So that's pretty much it. That's all I got for you for Antarctica.
Okay. Well, what about like fossils? Are we going to talk about that? Or?
There's just very few.
Okay.
There are dinosaur fossils that have been found. Like I said, the one ankylosaur relative. That's about it.
Oh, okay. Well, they didn't find any like dinosaur mummies in the pyramids in Antarctica?
Well, okay. The Smithsonian says there's no pyramids in Antarctica.
Okay. Yeah.
There's a bunch of caution tape. Says, weird mountain, don't look.
Don't look.
Nothing to see here. Carry on. Well, it's in the middle of Antarctica. They don't got to do anything to hide these things.
Right.
Paint it white.
Yeah, no one's going to see it.
If you paint it white, you're never going to find it. You have to know exactly.
A mountain?
A pyramid.
Oh, okay.
A massive pyramid.
Okay, yeah.
Even a pyramid of Giza. If you're out there and you paint the whole thing white, you will never find it again unless you have the GPS coordinates.
Right.
Because it's going to get a little drift of snow on it and stuff like that. The only place I think there could be is the heavy mountain ranges. Very few people. There are people you can go to them. It is like one of the apex of like mountain climbers, like these
Really?
high adrenaline people.
Yeah.
I can't remember. It's like a couple hundred people have ever climbed a couple of these mountains. Not even the big ones, way inland.
Yeah.
They go to around the coast, so it runs like a big spine off the archipelago and into the middle of the continent. The
Gotcha.
island chain or the mountain chain does.
Yeah.
So you can go climb the ones on the edge. In there could be all kinds. They talk about volcanic activity. There could be like Shangri-La in there. You know, there's hidden oasis in the frozen wasteland.
Who knows? Anything could be possible. Holy moly.
No, so I only have one frontier left to explore before we get into what could be causing dinosaurs to be seen in modern day.
Okay, one frontier. What could that be?
Do you have a guess?
I already know. You spoiled it before we started this episode, remember?
Space!
The final frontier.
I have a really scary story I heard.
So wait, a pause. Space dinosaurs that people have seen?
Yeah. After I tell you this story, you're not going to be happy.
What, it's T-Rex in a spacesuit?
Uh-uh.
Was it John Glenn again?
Uh-uh.
I was there. We saw the monolith on Mars. It shot a laser beam at a T-Rex that was flying through space.
Uh-uh.
Okay.
No, so I first heard this encounter, I believe, on Monsters Among Us.
Okay.
I think it was a call-in. But I found the actual written report on phantomsandmonsters.com.
Okay.
So I don't know who had it first, but that's where I heard it versus where I found the report.
Okay.
Just out there. Yeah. So this is let me get to it. Talk for a second.
Well, I'm still racking my brain about how you're getting dinosaurs in space. Now you're talking space, upper atmosphere. What are we talking here?
Spaceship dinosaurs.
Okay. Wait, are you talking about like Travis Walton?
No, but that is another good example.
Okay.
No, this is the whole thought that maybe dinosaurs didn't go extinct; they just left.
Okay.
Many a sci-fi has covered that, where later on we run into other like dinosaurs in space, and then they're like, "Oh, you're from Earth. We're originally from Earth. We had a meteor coming, so we left,
Okay.
and then you guys are what evolved after us."
So and they were talking like so they were probably like the show Dinosaurs, right?
Yes.
It was Earl Sinclair.
Yeah, but they were. I mean, Rick and Morty just did it too, actually.
What's that?
Dinosaurs.
What do you mean?
The dinosaurs left Earth
Oh, okay.
and came back, and they're hyper intelligent, sentient,
Yeah.
compassionate beings.
Compassionate. Yeah. Okay.
You don't know. We're going to talk about some dinosaur brains later, and they may have had more emotions than you realize. You big meanie.
Let's see.
So an experiencer described his bizarre chimera-like encounter with a large rabbit and a dinosaur-like monstrosity.
Okay.
So over 60 years ago, I was a young man living in southern Ohio.
Really?
We're bringing it home.
Oh, wow. Okay.
On a farm my grandmother owned. It was a very rural area with gravel roads. No plumbing. There was a well in the backyard and an outhouse down the hill. We had chickens in the yard, surrounded by cornfields, pastures across a gravel road. We had dairy cows. One morning, I was on the porch alone, and suddenly the chickens and the roosters cleared the yard fast.
Okay.
Some ran under the house, and others in the cornfield about 20 feet away from the house. They disappeared so fast, and they went totally silent. Something scared them. Chickens aren't chicken. They'll put up a fight with most intruders, especially a rooster. So this is me talking for a second. Normally, this is predatory birds. That kind of reaction is normally just predatory birds.
That's what I figured. Yeah.
Yeah. So something else had scared the heck out of them. I stayed on the porch looking for what scared them when what looked like a stuffed toy Easter bunny came from around the side of the house.
Okay.
So a stuffed toy Easter bunny pops from around the house.
Okay.
Little kid. Blue with a white tummy, pink inner ears, button eyes, kind of looked used, like it was a found toy. It walked as if it were playing with a child and holding the toy from behind. So Like you're holding a toy and you go, bah, bah, bah,
Right, yeah,
bah.
yeah.
Like you're playing with a kid. So walk like your toy. Wobble your hand to make the toy look like it's walking. I could see nothing behind the Easter Bunny moving it. I'm staring at it. It's staring at me. It's kind of off center, leaning towards a little bit to the left. Little stubby feet and paws like a stuffed animal. Then it started talking without moving its mouth. It wanted me to go with it and play and help it do something. Like an adult playing with a child moving a stuffed toy and talking to it, they say in quotes. It kept trying to get me to go with it around the other side of the house. The chickens disappearing so suddenly it scared me. The bunny didn't, but it seen the chickens attack stray dogs and snakes in the yard, pecking the snake to death. So the bunny scaring the heck out of them doesn't make a lot of sense.
Okay.
Before I move on,
So he's scared of his chickens running away, but he's not scared of this.
he said what he's getting at. Let me break it kind of down.
Yeah.
He doesn't feel fear initially from the toy.
Right.
He's like, the only reason I'm kind of hesitant of this situation is because of how the animals reacted to it. But I'm not getting any sense of fear off the thing.
After this toy's bouncing around by itself?
Like it's trying to explain the paranormal kind of aspect to it.
Right, yeah.
Is that he knows it's wrong, even though his body is screaming to go with it.
Yeah.
Very kind of black-eyed kids. You know,
Right, yeah.
Very odd.
Yeah, very odd.
So you're probably wondering how this connects to a dinosaur. Well, then pay attention.
I am. All eyes and ears.
I probably would have gone with the Easter Bunny, but I didn't because of the chicken's reaction. Finally, the bunny was backing away, kind of bouncing as if somebody was holding it until it was almost out of sight by the side of the house. I stayed on the porch and swung over the edge of the house to see where the bunny was going. It was at this time it had turned around and I saw it from behind. I froze. I clearly saw the back of the stuffed bunny-like image, but behind it looked like a four-legged dinosaur. Its head or snout was stuck into the back of the bunny toy. It was greenish with spikes running down its back all the way down its tail. The bunny was probably 3 foot. The bunny was probably 3 foot tall or a bit more with the top of the ears. The little dinosaur was maybe 2.5 foot tall. I ran into the house and told my grandmother. She went outside looking for it but never found it. My grandmother, born in 1889, told me if anything like this happened again to never go with it. A smart lady. So yeah. Then he has a little bit further on in his life, after the Easter Bunny experience, he has constant UFO experiences with abductions and stuff like that when he was a young man. But yeah, that's the dinosaurs from space.
How is it from space?
He swears, so he thinks it was the same entities he was coming abducting him.
With the UFOs?
They were trying to lead him away because they tried to lead him away to other toys later.
Yeah.
But he describes, when you listen to his encounter, I think it's Monsters Among Us. He describes it as like a demonic dinosaur. Like it was full on putting on a face mask.
Literally.
Literally lure the kid away with a toy.
Yeah. How old did he say he was again? I remember he said he was a kid. 8
is kind of... So smart, old enough to be led away, but smart enough not to.
Follow it, yeah. Smart enough to, better not follow that rabbit toy.
Yeah. Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, this is in Southern Ohio. Anywhere
He doesn't give a direct location.
Okay. No, yeah.
But constant UFO activity for the rest of his life.
I've never heard a story like this before.
Very unique.
Yeah.
And the grandma's reaction.
She knew.
Yeah. So he had some other encounters with more giant reptile-like beings. Throughout the years, like I said, he had UFO encounters. Mm-hmm. So, where was I? The experience with the Easter Bunny, trying to go with him. There's also another guy with a small group spoke up. He was like sharing this childhood experience that he had in the UFO group locally. It may be Linda's group. I should have asked her beforehand. So he's sharing this about the Easter Bunny going up with him. Another woman spoke up. She had a similar incident when she was a child with Santa Claus.
Okay.
She's seen a Santa that was trying to beckon her and lead her away. She was going with Santa until she seen from underneath his cloak a giant reptilian tail with spikes running down it. So he had a giant dragon's tail is how she described it.
Yeah.
So there's this there's another thing. Cryptonauts did it. I think The Whimsy of a Child's the name of the episode.
Okay.
About these things that these demons or reptiles or whatever putting on kids' masks.
Right. Yeah.
So, what if the dinosaurs are the reptilians?
They're the space aliens.
They're the space aliens. That's what the story of the reptilians, isn't it? They evolved during the Jurassic and left and came back.
All right,
The
now-
ones that stayed here?
Now, if we're diving into this, all
No,
right.
not yet.
Oh, come on.
We'll bring up the reptilians later.
What do you mean?
I guess if you really want to talk about it right this second, you can.
Well, I'm just saying, I guess it could be a much major thread I could bring up. We'll just save it. We'll save it. Yes, reptilians, I'm on board with that.
Yeah, okay.
I can believe it.
So what the heck is happening with all these dinosaurs? This is just a taste of living dinosaurs. This is not. I hope I did a good job explaining it during these episodes. Mm-hmm. That this is like in cryptozoology, kind of looked at as like a fringe thing, even in cryptozoology, is living dinosaurs. Mm-hmm. And you don't think you know Michele and Bembe, you know a couple of the South America. There are hundreds.
They're all over the world.
If not thousands,
Yeah.
of named cryptids
Right.
that are dinosaurs,
Right.
or dinosaurian,
like.
Right. This is a worldwide phenomenon. This is a crazy, massive phenomenon. Pretty much every culture,
Except Antarctica, or every country or continent except Antarctica.
like I said, every culture.
Yes.
Antarctica doesn't really have a culture that's left.
Sure does. Penguins.
Penguins.
And they're flying around.
They are dinosaurs,
Yeah.
actually. So
Yeah. There you go.
culture is dinosaur. No, so I don't know what the heck is happening. So I have tons and tons and tons of options.
All right.
It could be all of them, could be none of them. I don't know.
We don't know, yeah.
I don't know how I want to do this. If I want to let you try to guess what I have on my list, you probably can guess most of them.
Probably, but it's not as fun.
We have a lot of articles to talk about. We're going to get into quantum physics. We're going to get into psychology. We're going to get into the God particle, witchcraft,
and
blood sacrifices.
reptilians. Yeah.
Yeah. So what
Hybrid and
where do you want to go
hybrid
first?
creatures. I don't. Let's go.
The
with
government hybridization program does come up later.
the-
I want to do the big one. The
Yeah.
T-shirt, the brontosaurus coming through the time portal. It's the whole thing you've seen, the whole
There we
episodes.
go. Yeah.
I want to
Time
do time
slips.
slips or non-linear time first.
Okay.
I'm going to do the best I can to explain our best understanding of time. Our best understanding of time paints this as entirely plausible. That we experience time as a single flow arrow. And that is not how the universe experiences time. And that is a big thing I just said that doesn't make sense to our brain. There's a lot of things we're going to talk about that whether physics can prove or we know it to be true and doesn't make sense to our limited brains.
Our basic understanding of physics.
No, our basic understanding of physics goes bigger than our brain. It's hard to explain.
Okay.
Like, for example, the universe is infinite.
Right.
Whether you believe in the flat plane theory, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's infinite. It goes on forever.
Right.
As far as our dimension, as our brains are incompatible to comprehend the idea of infinite.
Right.
We
Forever.
cannot do it. Our brains do the shortcut of just accepting it.
Right.
But you cannot comprehend infinity. You cannot do it. It's the weirdest thing to think about, that it just goes on forever.
I just think of it as that little figure 8.
There you go. So
There, I did it.
time is another one that we have maybe a better understanding, like not a better understanding, an understanding like infinity. That time goes forward, backwards, side to side, everywhere, forever. And our brains are only capable of understanding one point in it.
Right.
So these dinosaurs could be examples of nonlinear time, or time ebbs and flows.
Okay.
They're spit ups from past things. And some of the cryptids could be spit ups from future animals. That's literally Primeval's the whole basis of the show.
Yeah.
That's the whole show.
So how do they get?
I want to read The Illusion of Time. It's
Okay.
a nice
Okay.
article.
Okay.
It's by Andrew Jeffy. He does, as far as the best I can understand. According to theoretical physics, Carlo Reilly, time is an illusion. Our narrative perception of the flow doesn't correspond with physical reality. So basically, like we talk about this all the time, our brains lie to us
Right.
to get us through the universe.
Mallard ducks.
Mallard ducks. This is your first episode you ever listened to. Don't. Go somewhere else. Go to a previous episode.
If they've been listening this long,
Yeah.
They're not doing that.
So as Carlo argues, in the order of time, much more than an illusionary, including Isaac Newton's picture of a universal ticking clock. Even Albert Einstein's relativity space-time, an elastic manifold that contorts the local time differs depending on one's relative speed or proximity to a mass, is just an effective simplification. So what we're going with is even our best guys, gals, that understand that we devoted decades of their life to basically rationalizing time, is an oversimplification of anything that we can understand.
Okay. I'm
Are you with me?
I'm following, yes. I may not fully grasp it, but I got an understanding of it.
I think that's something we just have to accept.
Right.
Is we as humans in our current state of biology cannot grasp this fully.
Okay.
You can do what you do with infinity. You can just accept it.
Fair enough.
That's it. That's all you can do. You can't. Your brain can't do it. So what does Carl think is really going on? He puts the reality as just a complex network of events in which we project sequence of past, present, and future on.
Ooh.
So this is with the observer effect.
Yeah.
All stuff is always happening
All the time.
all the time. And we, being existing in the universe, we put it into some kind of sequence for just us.
Right. To what's the word? To manifest it in a physical reality. I don't know.
So the whole universe obeys the laws of quantum mechanics and thermodynamics, out of which time emerges. And this is the base of really simplification of the observer effect. Season 6, we're going to do a whole episode on the observer effect.
Okay.
Carleo also is the creator and champion of the loop quantum gravity theory, one of several ongoing attempts to marry quantum mechanics with gravitational relativity, in consonance with better-known string theory. Loop quantum gravity does not apply to the theory of everything, out of which we generate all particle physics and gravitational effects. Nevertheless, the agenda of joining these two fundamental different laws is incredibly ambitious. So everybody's always trying to figure out the theory of everything.
Right.
What rule can, and there's no rule.
No.
The universe is highly, whether you want to say it's whatever simulation, it's highly individually motivated.
Yeah. It's localized, kind of.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what Einstein was trying to get at with time. Time is directly localized.
Okay.
Humans on a shared planet mostly will share a similar passage of time.
Especially since now in the digital age, we all got our clocks synced up together.
But you still can experience time faster and slower on this planet.
Absolutely, yeah.
And there's scientific studies that have proven this. So alongside and inspiring his work in quantum gravity, Carlo also has the idea that physics without time. This stems from the fact that some equations of gravitational or quantum gravity, such as the Wheeler-DeWitt equation, which asserts that quantum states of the universe can be written without any reference of time at all.
Okay.
I'll break that down a little simpler as far as I understand it.
Okay.
The universe does not need time. Nowhere in how it functions does time really break down to the fundamental parts of it.
Okay.
Time is an us thing.
It's an experiencer
Yes, thing.
Okay.
The universe does not care about time. You think about it when we're talking.
It just cares about timing.
But he also explains that the appearance of the existence of time is our perceptions and physical descriptions written in mathematic language, like Newton. Oh, it just started downpouring outside.
Yeah, out of nowhere.
Ooh. Time has no meaning, and it's hard for us to tell. As experiencers, we just do this very well.
Man, that is a professional podcast segue if I've ever seen.
Hey, everybody, the electric smoker was running outside as it started downpouring out of nowhere. So we went and had to fix that, but it's all good. So he basically is the creator of the champion loop of quantum gravity theory, one of several ongoing attempts to marry, like I said, these two major theories together. I can go into more. A world without time is another one of his things.
Okay.
It's really, we can go into much detail as you want. I really don't know how much about time. What do you think is an appropriate understanding of how time works, as far as we understand?
I don't know. I mean, I've seen that one guy, and I don't really care for him too much. That Brian Cox scientist talk about time and how moving through time and space, how it can change based on how fast you're moving and things like that. I get it.
Yes, that is correct, as in your perception of time.
Yes.
I think, and like I said, I love this article. Let me read his name again. And Andrew Jeffy, The Illusion of Time.
Okay.
It's a great article. We can keep going into it a little bit more and just kind of see what you think.
Right. I mean, it's interesting stuff, but he mentioned like stuff like string theory and stuff, which I don't entirely.
Time is separate from those theories. The time theory is separate.
Okay.
But can be married into them. That's what
Right. Yeah.
Carlo's major goal, Rivioli's major goal is. One of the major guys that's working on time, like the equations for time.
Just make it fit into our already understood knowledge of physics and relativity.
Because quantum physics breaks the rules of physics.
Okay.
They don't like each other.
Okay.
Physicists don't like quantum physics.
Okay.
Because, like you say, what is the quote about quantum physics? It's spooky action at a distance.
At a distance, yeah. That's what Einstein said.
Is you start seeing the bleed through of different rules.
Okay.
Physics is how we as humans experience the universe.
Experience the rules.
Quantum physics is our best understanding of how it actually works.
Right, yeah.
So that's why they don't get along. And once you understand the observer effect, then those two different things start making more sense of how physics and quantum physics can disagree and be correct.
The whole world's an illusion.
So basically, time. This goes into more of this entanglement. Time is much more, to the best of our understanding, like a river. It winds and it folds and it goes straight for some periods.
Creates oxbow lakes.
So
where people are suspended.
Yeah. No, so what rivers will do, so what we think time may essentially want to do, is it creates these, you just mentioned the oxbows, these big bows in the river. The bends in the river can and will bump into each other.
Right.
And you'll cause shortcuts. Mm-hmm. So let's say dinosaurs are a big side effect
of shortcuts?
Of these little shortcuts that pop up.
Yeah.
So the Brontosaurus in Ontario, he may have just popped out of a portal, and he was just as confused as everybody else.
Yeah.
So what did he do? He went for the water. He went for where he's going to feel safe.
Dove in.
Because it's probably completely different. The air is different.
Yeah.
Everything's different. You know, the
It'd
smell.
have to be.
From however you believe time, however long time is.
Yeah.
It's a completely different world that animal just stepped into. Other animals may do this constantly. The Lazarus attacks that we talked about months ago may be littler examples. Like the bivalves that dropped 250 million years.
Right, yeah.
They could have been a shoal of them, and then they popped up later. They actually did go extinct. Mm-hmm. But the population from the past bumped into a present stream, and then they popped up again. This could explain so many hiccups and gaps and hops in the fossil record of animals coming and going, new traits that developing and disappearing, and then reappearing millennia later.
Right. Yep.
This could be the key to it. Is that the universe doesn't? I do believe the universe was built for us to experience.
I agree.
But the universe does not need us to experience it.
Okay.
They can be both true and separate.
But if we're not there looking at it,
it does its own thing. The computer program starts doing its own behaviors,
which is everything.
So yeah, it's basically imagine like it's a computer program.
Well, yeah.
When the player's not in the game, it's going to do it an easier way.
I don't know. I think it's going to shut down.
No, look at like Ark. The servers still run, but they do it anyways.
I guess.
I don't think they shut down. I think it's a separate thing built for us. But anyways, so this time, this ebb and flow, these bends in the river, they coming together. But like I said earlier, also some of these cryptids that we're getting may be organisms from the near future or the far off future.
Right, yeah.
In our timeline.
At any point in time.
And they just look strange. They're like a Mothman. Mm-hmm. Could literally be a supersized insect from 65 million years from now, 400 million years from now, a billion years from now. Who knows? Anything could be possible.
We could have hybridized with bugs and animals in the future and then sent them back in the past.
Yeah, sure. But then also that comes with the time traveling humans theory and stuff like that. I don't think we don't know.
Oh, but maybe that's the thing. Humans can't time travel. You're not allowed. So they hybridize you with a moth and then send you back, and you're breaking the rules without breaking them.
So like Schrodinger's cat's another one with hyperposed states, which is like the observer effect.
Right. It's like in a
Hyperposed states are things existing in more than one state at the exact same time.
Correct. Yeah.
Until you look at them. Mm-hmm. And then they take shape.
It locks into reality.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The universe is so much more reactionary to an observer than I ever knew until we started doing this stuff. Until I think most people know. I cannot wait until we do the observer effect episode.
I know.
Because it's crazy that it's real.
It is, ain't it? It's measurable.
Every lab across the world that does this stuff has tested it just to make sure. Mm-hmm. And it's all come back the same exact thing. Mm-hmm. The universe knows when you're watching it, and it behaves accordingly.
Yeah, I feel like there should be a way to hack that.
Well, there may be. So I don't know. What if there's these natural time portals? Whether it's an Earth's electromagnetic field causes them, or just time itself, is it another state of matter or another dimension, essentially?
The fourth dimension?
It could be. I don't know what they are. They think they know what they are. Nobody knows. Nobody knows.
I don't know. Well, we know 2D and 3D. We know that much.
Yeah, because they're below us.
But that's it. Or no, we are 3D.
2D. Oh, 1D and 2D is what I did in my head.
My bad. Okay. It's okay. Dyslexia.
Yeah. So I think that some of these could be like a brontosaurus walking out of a portal. Mm-hmm. The ones that go in the Sahara Desert just die. You know what I mean? Like, what's he going to do?
Well, attack a human?
A brontosaurus is what I said.
Oh, the brontosaurus is okay.
A 90-foot tall building. It's going to die of dehydration really fast.
Wouldn't they find bones or something weird like on the
top?
In
the middle of the Sahara Desert?
Not in the Sahara. I don't know.
So think back to the stony monster.
Okay.
From Scotland. Mm-hmm. The washed up corpse.
Right on the side of the...
That looked like a sauropod. Mm-hmm. I think if this is true, I think sometimes they get thrown up into the ocean.
Just popped right out?
Yeah. Where they walk through essentially a portal and fall into our time. And then this sauropod that can swim, but not for days or months.
Right, yeah.
Is now in the middle of the cold Atlantic Ocean. And then it dies and washes ashore.
That'd be one heck of a sight to see as a freaking sauropod swimming in the ocean.
It'd be more of a sight to see. But talking about when we did the Carnival Cruise Monster, that was another Patreon episode. A pliosaur. So not a mosasaur, a pliosaur.
Right.
Which they went extinct well before mosasaurs were even around. The big ones, the Predator X ones.
Right, yeah.
So how did they circumnavigate and hop through time to get to here? If you want to believe that, or had tons of great eyewitnesses, including the captain. Mm-hmm. You know, which people to lose careers to say they've seen this kind of animal.
Right.
There's all these hiccups in time. And I really, really think that there's something to this. That time is just not real as far as we understand it. It does exist, but it's not an arrow. It's much more like the meandering river. And every once in a while, you're going to have water skip over these big parts of the river. And I think the Lazarus Tax episode could explain a lot of that. And it just doesn't, it makes sense, but it doesn't, Right. I think once you leave your current understanding of you observing what you see and how it works, and when there's so much more than that.
You open Pandora's box.
Yeah.
What was that?
I don't know. We've been recording for a long time.
Yes. I think it's time for a break.
I think you get these. Oh, that's the wrong one. Then I think you get these.
Dinosaur sounds?
Yes.
I don't get it.
Dinosaurs coming through the portals.
Oh, okay. I thought I did something to get it.
No, so what do you think about time? What do you think about this theory for the dinosaurs being seen in modern day?
Well, we've talked about it a lot, not just this episode, but...
No, but it's time slips is a big thing.
Yeah, throughout every season, I think, of Cryptids of the Corn, we've talked about it being a possibility for some cryptids, creatures, monsters, whatever. Something like that. But, I think this could explain some of them.
Yes, I don't think any of these I'm going to present to you are a catch-all.
Right. I
want to put that out there.
Yeah.
I don't think there's one answer to any of this.
But I think time slips they do occur. They do occur because there's just a lot of weird anomalies that would explain it. But, I mean, and then I don't know, I just kind of go back and forth on it sometimes because it's so science fiction-y too at the same time. It's like, huh.
There's no difference.
I know there's not.
Between science fiction and science?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I guess it just seems so crazy far-fetched. Like, something from the past can just pop into here now.
But black holes bending light.
No, absolutely, yeah. It
Makes
just
sense.
seems that way.
See, it's what I'm getting at. And you're 100% right. It's what I'm getting at. Is that we've accepted stuff that we don't understand on an everyday basis.
Right, yeah.
And we think this is crazy until you really think about what you've accepted is reality.
What, space is fake and Earth's a flat plane of...
But not you person, you the royal you. Humans.
Oh.
Average. The average don't think that, but that's fine.
Oh, okay. One day.
Know that there's black holes out there. There are these giant consuming monsters.
Right.
That are so strong gravitational pull. They warp and bend light around them and eat light.
Right.
That's crazy. That makes no sense. That makes no sense.
Light cannot escape the void. What's it called when you go over that edge?
The event horizon.
Event horizon, yeah.
But we also don't know what black holes are. And
No.
we have that one picture, if you want to believe it. We have that one picture of one. I do believe in black holes. I think it makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
As far as their reaction, the universe reacting to them.
Right.
Something like that makes sense. Whether it's supersized wormholes or living things. There's all these, theories about them.
Yeah.
I don't know. So we already accept unprovable, unbelievable things a part of our everyday life. And I just think this is one of the last boats to really look at time. Because time is so much more human than those other things.
Right, yeah.
So it's so much harder to let go of.
Right.
As being a physical, I know people don't think time's physical, but a physical thing to your everyday life, the passage of time.
Right. I'm following along.
There you go.
I'm mopping up what you're spilling.
Time.
Time is an illusion.
Time has no meaning, and it's hard for us to tell. That's from Adventure Time. It's one of the episodes.
Okay, so you already seen that once, right?
I think BMO sings it. Feels like a very BMO thing.
Yes.
BMO's dead now.
Oh.
So, next one is...
Maybe he'll be back in a time slip.
So what's your percentage for time slips?
11.
11? Before I continue on, we're going to go ahead and do our ad break. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I, the great and powerful Mystery, have devised a diabolical plan. I am going to bring back a dinosaur so they can reveal their secrets of dynamite flavor. Hit the ray! What is that coming out of the tube? It's a dinosaur! Oh my gosh, what is that in your claws, dinosaur? Is that flavors of the forest, Bigfoot breath, raw garlic dust? Oh my gosh, this is the best stuff. It truly is dynamite. If you guys had this, how did you go extinct? Taxes. Gets us all. If you want some of this amazing and dynamite garlic dust, you can get it at flavorsforest.com/corn or the link below.
You gonna tell us yet or no?
What?
What that dinosaur is?
I'm not going to tell you. That'll be the last time you ever hear that ad. Isn't that special? Same with the new intro. This is the last episode, the part 6 season finale. So, my next one for you is mistaken ID.
Ooh, okay.
This is a big hodgepodge.
Yeah.
So there's two options under mistaken ID I have. It's known animals. For example, shoebill storks, wood storks, Java rhinos, elephants, stink birds, elephant seals, whales, and so many more just seeing species out of their area. You see these big animals through pieces of trees or in the water. You get the incomplete picture and your mind fills in the rest.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give you some examples before we do the second part of this. Wood storks. When I had my encounter with a wood stork, it sounded just like a velociraptor from Jurassic Park.
Okay.
With a big, but at the end of it, it snapped its jaws. So it sounded like a wood knock.
Okay.
So it sounded like a velociraptor and then a Bigfoot.
Yeah, we're back to back.
A velociraptor and then a Bigfoot.
And it's a wood stork.
And I rounded the corner. It was a really mad wood stork that was basically peeing on its nest. I didn't know it was there.
Yeah.
I was peeing on a tree. And it was like, on the other side, it was all mad that I was there. I didn't know what that bird was at the time. I knew it was a bird.
Right.
But they're huge.
A big bird?
5-6 foot tall.
Okay.
Massive, giant bills. And they're mean looking. And they make scary, scary noises.
Sounds like a Velociraptor.
There's also animals that you hear and then you build the creature around. Mm-hmm. The kookaburra is famous for this.
Which we just heard that.
Yeah. The Aborigines used this to lie to sneak around the white people so they wouldn't get murdered.
Right, yeah.
They said, nah, bunyips live in there, and they use the kookaburra's noises.
Yeah.
Like, you hear the cave, the
They're crazy
going
sounding.
nuts.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's a demon. That's a demon that lives in that cave.
Trying to make like a tree and get the heck out of here.
Yeah. So there's that size. Java rhinos. What I mean by that, why I put them on the list, extremely rare megafauna. Mm-hmm. Even the people that research them have only seen them a handful of times.
But they know they exist.
Yes, they're in zoos. You can go see one.
Oh, really? Where? I probably don't know where off the
I
top
don't
of
know
your head,
where off the
but
top of my head. You
that's
can
pretty
look it
cool.
up while I'm talking.
Find
So,
out.
extremely rare jungle megafauna. Mm-hmm. Asian elephants are also almost unheard of. Like the tiger research we talked about a long time ago, where she's researching tigers. She's only in a decade, she sees Asian elephants about once a year. And there's a whole family living in her research area.
Okay.
10,000-pound animals
Hidden
that
for
talk a lot. They make a lot of noise.
how long were they? I mean, they probably been there for forever, really, probably.
Asian elephants?
Yeah.
Yeah, a long time.
And they didn't even know that whole population was there.
Yeah, well, she was in a research room for tigers, and they were in her area. She'd seen their tracks and their holes and
But
the
she
woods.
couldn't see them.
Yeah, she's seen them once a year.
Yeah.
It would just be randomly. She'd be out walking doing research, and there happened to be elephants going by.
Yeah. And that's it.
Yeah, so that makes me think of some of these Congo sightings, with these big holes punched in the forest,
Yeah.
and you see the tracks, and it could be, like they said, water rhinos, literal species, which we'll bring up later.
No.
But stuff like that, or stink birds. And we talked about them on Freaky Fauna Friday.
We said those are the
They
last
have-
living dinosaurs, right?
Some scientists argue that they're not birds. They're not true birds. They're dinosaurs.
Okay.
They have fingers still. They have guts that are more similar to a cow than any living bird.
Which is
Like a theropod
pretty significant.
herbivore.
Yeah.
They fart and they burp and they climb. They can kind of fly. They're not great at it. They have
But they
crazy
can.
calls. You know, they look much. They have fingers. You know, with little claws on them. So there's all these things. If you didn't know what a stink bird is, and you see that thing, a 2-foot tall little bird running around through the woods with fingers and hands, that's a dinosaur.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know,
I mean,
So
not
I
even
put-
out of the time. Like,
elephant seals, same thing with the bunyip. So he's made 2 appearances. Is elephant seals are famous for ending up places they should not be.
right.
Chile, remember when we
Yep.
talked about that? They ended up in the mountains in Chile.
Yeah.
An elephant seal.
Shouldn't be there.
So this giant aquatic flippers with claws with the big long neck and the nose on the front could be an elephant seal. Because when they stretch out, they have a really long neck.
And they, let's say they do not stand up, but
They do stand up.
They posture
yeah,
up.
They posture up.
Yeah.
And they run and they get really mad and they
Yeah.
attack things.
Well, fair enough. Yeah. And we know they exist and they get into places they shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Real quick, that Javan rhino is only found in Ujung Kulon National Park in West Java,
Now,
which is Indonesia.
yes.
Yes. That's the only place you can find them now.
Yes.
Or where they're in captivity.
Oh, they're in that's the only place they're in captivity.
As far as I think so, yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty rare. They make little tunnels though in the forest.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
You can't see their tunnels from the outside. It's like
Yeah.
the Ohio grass ape,
Okay.
grassman.
Grassman, yeah.
You can't see the tunnels from the outside. But
once
when you
you
get in them, there's like it's a rhino's tunnel.
That's pretty sweet.
They're not little animals.
No rhino. Well, not many rhinos are that are
yeah.
left.
Whales.
Okay.
People have been scared of whales since we've gone on the water.
For good reason.
I mean, they're immense animals. I mean, that we also almost hunted to extinction.
Yeah.
For lamps,
Light.
for light.
Yeah.
No, so just seeing whales in areas where whales aren't normally can be very scary.
Okay.
One I talked about is the International Coastway in Florida. Mom and Dad were there when that fin whale got stuck in with the shipping canal.
Oh, yeah. I remember you telling me that.
A humongous animal. They were seeing this whole. It looked like an island in the middle, raising and falling.
Yeah.
So these inland lakes and stuff like I don't know. There's chances for whales to end up in them, and the big heads, and it's just they add the teeth, they add the spikes, they add the fire.
Yeah. I mean, big creature under the water. It's pretty scary no matter what it is.
So how much of this is actually people seeing dinosaurs, and how much of it is seeing a piece of an known animal that is not supposed to be there, running fast, making sounds, and just seeing a glimpse of it.
Right. I mean,
And then building that whole legend up around it.
we have the same thing with Bigfoot too. Same phenomena. You know, you see something in the woods. It's like, well, is that a bear? You know, it probably was a bear. But, you know, people have Bigfoot on the mind. They're going to say, I saw a Bigfoot. But it could be mis-ID'd anything.
Yeah, 100%.
You never know.
My other half of the mis-ID'd animals is unknown animals.
Okay. So cryptids.
Cryptids in the true sense of the word of undiscovered species.
Right.
So I'm going to go back to the Amazon. The sauropod, but it had the trunk, very seal tine. Technically, it's the wrong ocean for elephant seals.
Okay.
Because to get up the Amazon, you got to go to the Atlantic or Pacific. They end up everywhere they're not supposed to.
Okay.
There is talks that there was elephant seal populations in the Atlantic as well. There's maybe the Atlantic elephant seal. They go into tributaries. They go thousands of miles up in Australian rivers sometimes because they're nuts.
Right. Yeah.
Go try to breed with cows.
Yeah.
Because they're 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 10,000 pounds. They're monsters.
Yeah.
Waddling around up there, and they get lonely. So they go to farmersonly.com.
Get a local cow.
Get a local cow. No, so this could be a cryptid that is going up instead of going into rainforest rivers in Australia, doing it in South America. And these saurian, quote unquote, these heavy blubbered or these heavy bodied animals they're seeing could be these guys going up there because there's nothing that can bother them.
Yeah, what's going to hurt it?
A 5,000-pound elephant seal
Yeah.
in the middle of the Amazon, there's jaguars and there's caiman. And it will destroy
Both of them.
Both of those.
Yeah.
And anacondas?
Am I running
a 500-pound anaconda?
Pablo Escobar's hippos?
I depending on the elephant seal, an adult elephant seal would, I think, take on a hippo.
Really?
Depends.
We got to remember the name of that show where they virtually pit animals against each
Peyton
other.
put it in the Discord.
Oh, okay.
Animal Face Off.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it was something.
That
like
would be quite the battle. Elephant seal versus hippo.
I'll look up what is the max elephant seal weight?
Nah.
I think it's 10,000 pounds. I think
Okay.
the biggest one was George in that zoo. I think it was 10,000 pounds. So, anyways, this trunked, flippered, clawed animal could have been an elephant seal, but an unknown species to science elephant seal, the Atlantic elephant seal.
The largest, what'd you say?
Elephant seal.
Recorded was estimated to be 22 and a half feet long and weighed 11,000 pounds.
So I was close
Yep,
to 10,000.
you're right, yeah.
Look up the biggest hippo ever. I think they top out at like 6 or 8.
Okay, so biggest hippo? So what would we say, 11,000 pounds?
Yeah.
Okay.
I hope this is good entertainment for everybody at home.
The biggest hippo ever and captive in Germany that weighed almost 10,000 pounds.
So the biggest hippo ever is still 1,000 pounds lighter
than the biggest
elephant
seal,
seal.
yeah.
So I'm going to assume that tracks to the whole population.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
So I think a big elephant seal will kill an average hippo.
Okay, fair enough.
I think I think these things are too big.
It'd be one heck of a
It'd be interesting.
battle to watch, yeah.
Hippos aren't good swimmers. Remember that.
No, but they're good in the water, like as far as they're anchored.
That's what the problem though is. They can only hold their breath for about 15 minutes. Elephant seal can hold their breath for like an hour.
Oh, okay.
So if they can't get up and breathe, and
Yeah.
the elephant seal keeps him down, he's going to drown.
Yeah.
Anyways, so it could be these unknown animals that aren't dinosaurs, that aren't saurians. Going back to Africa with the elephant killers, could be, no joke, aquatic rhinos.
Yeah.
There were species of rhinos in Africa that had more wetland lifestyles.
I can believe it. Well, yeah. And they have the puncture holes.
Yeah. So it could literally be, the tail could be imagined just like Mokele Mbembe.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
I have no idea. I don't know any of these people. I don't get it. I've never talked to any of the eyewitnesses. I have literally no idea.
So I typed in aquatic rhino and metaminodon.
Sure.
Is that I don't know what that is. That's the first thing that popped up.
Show me.
Oh, I don't know. It's just, it's not really showing much of anything.
Yeah, so there were rhinos that seemed to be much more aquatic lifestyles.
Yeah.
Like hippos. But like we talked about that with Paraceratherium, is they think that Paraceratherium, which is the biggest rhino ever, could have had a more semi-aquatic lifestyle.
Yeah. Oh, right here it says these were large, displaying a suit of semi-aquatic adaptations more similar to those of modern hippos, despite their closer affinities with rhinoceroses. So yeah, pretty much like big rhinos that act like hippos.
Yes. Huh. So that could be what's happening here, is relics from the Pleistocene.
Yeah.
And think big armor-plated rhinos killing elephants. It's very dinosaurian.
Yeah.
So what if these are Pleistocene holdovers? These crazy mammals. Mammals used to be so much crazier than they are today, with way developed body plans. And so what if that's what we're seeing is these remote areas? They aren't sauropods in the Yukon. They're long-necked rhinos.
That'd be awesome.
You know what I mean? Like,
well, what did we talk about too with the?
That's just for the big, like the sauropods, the vegetarians.
Right. Yeah. Which one was it that I had said it kind of reminded me of Trunko a little bit? I forget.
I think it was the South American one.
Was it?
It had the trunk and it was aquatic.
Oh, okay.
But they said it had scales or armor.
Okay, but it's still like we don't know what a water elephant.
Water rhino.
No, the other thing though with the trunk.
Tapirs.
Tapirs. Okay. Yep.
They had a giant cousin too.
Okay.
Taxodons.
Okay.
They come get your taxes.
No, thank you.
That's why we got the dinosaurs was taxodons.
Is that why? That's why we got rid of them all. Taxes.
Yeah. So.
It wasn't a comet. It was a nuclear bomb.
So what do you think about this? Mis-ID'd either unknown or known animals.
Oh yeah, I think very much plays a part in this. I mean, regardless of what's being seen, some people are reporting these things. People are reporting these strange animals.
There's a lot of them to be all fake.
Absolutely, yeah. So to say,
and there definitely was some we talked about today that were fake.
Yes, absolutely.
Or these episodes today for us, weeks for these guys.
Right? Yeah. It's all one day, fellas. All one day.
So I think this is a big part of it. I think some of these are definitely mis-IDs.
Mis-IDs, yep.
Mammals, birds. Some of the theropods could easily be birds. I did forget something with the time slips.
Ooh, what is?
So I'm going to go back to that real fast.
Okay.
Is why are there so many more theropods compared to other types of dinosaurs, like the herbivorous dinosaurs, if it's time slips?
What, explain theropod again? Like
the carnivores, mostly.
Oh, okay.
Like the T-Rexes. There was a lot of velociraptors and T-Rexes.
Right, and these accounts and stuff.
There were plenty of herbivores, too, but there was a lot more
carnivorous creatures. I don't know why.
Because I think when these portals open, I don't think they move very quick. So there may be smells of prey on the other side. So carnivores are going to follow their nose and maybe end up in these more often.
Like Toucan Sam.
Than herbivores.
Yeah.
Which are just kind of wandering.
That makes sense.
As
so
far
they're
as the
gonna wander
time slips.
through it to get the food they smell rather than looking for some berries through there,
Yeah.
or whatever plant matter.
Yeah, so there you go. I just had to say that.
Okay.
All right, so we've had time slips. We had mistaken ID. What else could I have? You got a guess?
Oh, you said reptilian overlords.
That's way later.
Yeah, I know.
Tulpas.
Oh boy.
We're going to talk about the collective unconsciousness.
Okay.
It's going to be our deepest look into the collective unconsciousness ever.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I thought we already did this.
Did we?
I don't know, maybe not.
Did we?
Not the collective unconscious, I don't think.
We've talked about it, but
we talked about tulpas.
Huh?
We did the tulpa episode.
We did a tulpa episode, yes. Yeah. But collective unconscious as a whole. Anyway, so tulpas, real fast for anybody at home, is that basically humans are putting their mental power, psychic energy, whatever you want to call it, into an idea so hard that it manifests into reality. Now, with quantum physics, that could be possible. We don't know. You know what I mean? The collective unconsciousness with these tulpas, this would make, why aren't there Godzillas running around if everybody's focused on Godzilla? I don't know. I don't know the rules. We talked about the rules in the episode of how to make a tulpa in the traditional way.
Right.
This, I think, if there was anything that was going to pop up from the collective unconscious, so the collective unconscious is the human psyche as a whole. The species all shares basically thoughts from a big pool. And
Right.
I'll read the article and explain it a little better. So if anything, in my opinion, was going to have enough universal focused energy on it to start popping up everywhere,
It's dinosaurs.
be dinosaurs. Every kid in every culture has been fascinated with dinosaurs. Kids are immensely powerful.
That's true.
Psychically.
That's true. You can't deny that.
No, their imagination.
Right.
So what if that's what's happening here? The collective unconsciousness can rewrite the universe or whatever, or add things or subtract things. So it could be the giant battery of the world's children focusing so hard on dinosaurs. I read a lot from the 1800s and beyond, but a lot of these were like 1880s and newer.
All right.
So right after the word dinosaur was coined. Dinosaurs were known about before that, but that's really when the dinosaur era blew up. Was like the 1880s and on. Kids have been fascinated with them ever since. What if this is the power?
I see what you're saying. Do you feel responsible for some of these?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, I was just saying.
No, so collective consciousness. The German word for this is Kollektives Überwest.
Okay.
Refers to the unconscious mind that is shared with the mental cohorts, the human race.
Okay.
And generally associated with idealism coined by Carl Jung. According to Jung, the human collective unconscious is populated by mostly instinct, as well as archetypes, ancient primeval symbols such as the Great Mother, the Wise Old Man, the Shadow, the Tower, the Water, the Tree of Life, and the Dinosaur.
Stop.
I added that
Yeah, I know
one.
you did.
Jung considered the collective unconsciousness to be an unpinned or surrounded the unconscious mind.
Oh, I just wish that was one of the archetypes now. The dinosaur.
So this is distinguished, though, from the personal unconscious in the Freudian psychologist mind. So basically, it's saying that there's a collective unconsciousness that is shared between all humans and our species.
Yep.
And it's in our brain like a little spot.
Right.
But there's also the personal unconscious,
The individuals.
and then us,
the person.
the person,
The
in front of
conscious
the brain.
person.
There's also a part that they don't really go into here that runs your organs. You know what I mean? Like there's something that tells your heart to beat.
Yes.
You know, that doesn't matter for psychology per se,
Right.
as much.
Right. That's just the machine running our body.
Yeah. Jung considered, like I said, these differences. He believed the concept of collective unconsciousness helped explain why similar themes occur in mythologies around the world. He argued that the collective unconscious was a profound influence on the lives of individuals who lived out its symbology and clothed them in the meaning of their experiences. I think it's the opposite.
You think the opposite of...
Well, not exactly the opposite.
Okay.
I do think there's these things in collective unconscious. I do think the humans share everything, what you want to call it, the human spirit or whatever.
Well, another term I think is called the Akashic Records. What they say.
Similar, different. I think same, different kind of thing.
Is that where like all the information in the universe is
All
like stored?
human information ever acquired is there, and you can pull it out.
Yeah, we can tap into it.
Yeah. Maybe. I think the collective unconscious is more... I don't know.
I mean, it's very similar.
It is a similar concept. I don't know if it's the same thing. I don't know if I don't know if they're real. But I think there is something to the collective unconscious. But when we talk about these tulpas and stuff like that, these creatures or beings made out of sheer will, I think the collective unconscious that loves dinosaurs could push this into reality.
Yeah.
You're smiling, but you know I'm right.
That's why I'm smiling.
I'm right.
Because I just know there's a glimmer of hope in your mind.
Well, they're not real dinosaurs then,
Why not?
because they're goo beings.
What if they were goo beings before? What if it was a reptilian collective unconscious that created the dinosaurs before?
Actually,
And
you're
then-
close, but wrong.
And God's like, no,
Meteor.
meteor, wham!
No, you're close. It was actually the dinosaurs' collective unconscious that made man.
Ah, and then they realized how much of a mistake
And
it
then
was.
their collective unconscious ate them.
Wait, the man's?
Yeah,
Or-
man turned and ate dinosaur.
Yeah, they did. If they had lived back then, yeah, we would have wiped them out for sure.
They look tasty.
It's just what we do.
Halfway between bird and beef.
That does sound good. It's like a turtle.
Oh, never eat a turtle. No, so basically that's that part. Is that I don't know if there's something to collective consciousness. I don't know if there's something to actual tulpas. We've talked about them tons on the show. But I do wonder if there's something there. If anything was ever going to crop up out, like nobody's out there believing Godzilla is real besides like us.
I was
That's
gonna
different.
say, like, good thing you said besides us.
You know what I mean?
Like, wait a minute.
I believe in truly gigantic creatures, like massive. I don't think they're like Godzilla. I don't
Right.
think they're actively running around like that. I do think they move.
Destroying towns and buildings.
I think they easily could, but they're not moving like that.
Right.
You know, they're moving much more like a continental plate, essentially. Because they're just like huge. They're like living continental shelves.
Like Alex said, a giant sand dollar.
Yeah, a giant sand dollar, essentially crawling along the bottom. But it does move. But every time it moves, it does cause earthquakes.
Right.
Because it's just so freaking heavy.
Right, yeah.
It's been around since the beginning.
Since
There was us there God said, "Let there be light and sand dollar."
And it was a sand dollar. Maybe everything emerged from the sand
Everything's
dollar.
built on the back of a sand dollar. It wasn't a turtle. The Americans were close.
They were close, just wrong again.
Wrong shell.
Wrong shell. Yeah.
No, so I don't know. What do you think? Collective unconsciousness.
There's something to it. I mean, there's something there with collective unconscious. Whether it's creating tulpas, I don't know.
Or dinosaurs.
But
dinosaur tulpas.
Dinosaur tulpas, yeah, more specific. But I do believe in the collective unconscious. I don't know. I just think, especially like when change happens around the world, unconnected places, it's kind of a collective unconscious. I don't know the best example I can give that to modern day now would be like when our Civil War happened and the slaves were freed. We were the first country to really do that in the world, to like outlaw that. And then it just, once we did it, it slowly spread around the world. Now, whether that's collective unconscious just from us doing an act like that and then the other world just kind of piles on with it, or if it's they seen us do that and then that influenced them to change as well. But what came
Chicken egg.
first? Yeah, chicken and the egg at that point. So I don't know. But I think like ideas pop up.
Like,
Like you see like inventions and stuff pop up around the world at the same time.
exact same time.
Yeah.
No, it's crazy. It's weird. I think there is something to it. What the one you made me think of, the British, is that America's really the first one to stand up to the British against British rule and push them off. Mm-hmm. The rest of the world didn't know that was possible.
Right. Well, they forgot.
They just didn't know.
Yeah.
They were such an oppressive force at the time. Mm-hmm. And then, like, they ran the world. Mm-hmm. From Australia to America and everything in between.
And they like put it out in front. You knew they did.
Yeah, no, it was known.
And now like...
And then we pushed them off. And then it was like wildfire. Little countries were doing it. It was instant. Oh, not instant as far as instant in time.
Right.
It was extremely fast. Mm-hmm. Now I don't even know how many they're still holding. I just see that.
Or who they've re-infiltrated.
Oh, yeah, that's different.
That is very different.
Those monsters.
They might be back.
The royal family we're talking about, not British people.
No, yeah.
The royal family.
No, yeah.
We have a lot of British listeners.
No, yeah.
Just like our government, your government sucks too.
They all do.
They all do.
They're all oppressive to the human...
Every government is bad except the awesome and rocking land of Craigtopia.
Craigtopia is pretty nice.
You gotta say the full name. The awesome and rocking land of Craigtopia. That's what it said on the map.
Oh, the awesome and rocking land of Craigtopia.
Yeah, we fish right next to it for the ice fishing trip.
And they're hospitable there.
Yeah,
the
we never met Craig. But he never yelled at us.
Exactly. He's never yelled at us or bombed us.
You know what? I can say that with fact.
He's never bombed us.
Now, I swear, we go up there ice fishing this year and he throws like a bottle rocket at us.
I'd take it over a drone strike that kills 80% civilians.
React to dinosaurs.
Oh, yeah.
The next one. This was a subtle undertone in the whole episode. I think you picked up on it in Africa.
Okay.
The caves / hollow earth.
The nether realm.
Yeah, no.
The lower dimensions.
So a lot of these go back to caves. They go back to rocky outcrops. Mm-hmm. They disappear in the hills and mountainsides. Mm-hmm. It was almost like, there was a dinosaur show on Discovery Kid called, I think, the main dinosaur was named Robin because his footprints look like a robin. The the bad guys were ankylosaurs that discovered dynamite. Very weird. So, Dinosapien. It's called Dinosapien.
Okay.
Very cool show. But he made friends with Lauren, and he could talk. Like they were intelligent, hyper intelligent. They basically lived in the Hollow Earth, and they would, in the more of the sense like I believe in the Hollow Earth is gigantic, massive underground caverns.
Yeah, like Swiss cheese
yeah,
Earth.
Yeah. Not that the Earth has a sun in the side. And I don't know, but I don't think it does.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
So what they, and this talked about, is that every once in a while, these sightings basically are cracks that form in these little caverns. Mm-hmm. A couple of them get out. Mm-hmm. A good, bad, and different. And sometimes they get stuck out. Mm-hmm. That's what happened in that show is the three of them got stuck out, the two bad guys and the good one.
Right, yeah.
Because they were fighting each other, and then it opened and they got pushed out.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. I mean, very Van Meter visitor.
100%.
Yeah.
I cannot tell you how many, especially the theropods, we're seeing going in and out of caves.
Right, yeah.
Animals like caves. Predators like caves. It's safe. But there's also where the elephants were seen in Africa with the Chi-0X. The elephants go deep underground to get salt.
Right.
That's an elephant. Families, herds of elephants
Big.
disappear underground.
Yeah.
Can you imagine watching all these elephants disappear in a cave
Pile
for a
into
couple
hole.
days?
Yeah.
Like, what is in that cave?
Yeah. Salt.
Salt. It's good. It's good.
What if, and expounding upon this even further, the hollow earth, okay, what if these things are coming from under the earth or inside the earth, but the lower, it's the lower dimensions, like the lower, quote unquote, hell, the demon realm, the darker realms where dark things come from. And then these cracks open and it allows them to get up to here, to this plane, to this earth. And that's what they're escaping from, too. And that's why they're dangerous and evil.
Well, dinosaurs aren't evil.
Huh?
The one that...
I wanted to say that word just to see how you acted.
So...
Just as I thought.
JClone33 has actually had a corruption error. And he's about to be replaced. We'll be right back after these short messages. Jump over the table at you. No, you're wrong. I was just... Anything's possible but that.
What if that's what Hollow Earth is, though? Like, only like dark
we
beings.
talked about that in our Hollow Earth Animal Bird episodes.
Yeah.
Like, talking about, what if it's just portals and they look like caves, essentially?
I could see that, too, yeah. What if within the Earth, like, you go in the Earth, in the caves, you get in so deep, and you use the mental projection of the human mind, but it becomes more powerful and more integrated with the Earth because you're in it. And then it's cave people that are creating these monsters and spawning them on the surface.
There you go.
There we go.
I wouldn't go as far as monsters. A lot of these guys didn't do anything until they were shot.
Or grabbing cows and walking off with them.
We eat cows.
Not in one bite.
We're not that big. You're telling me you would, if you were 25 foot tall?
Hey, that pit bull that got loose in the town was killing all them chickens. That's pretty bad.
But they were tasty.
To the pit bull.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But not to the people that own the chickens.
Don't shoot it. Yeah, just don't. Anyways. No, so with Hollow Earth, these giant cave systems, I don't know, they could be these giant time capsules. We don't know a lot about caves already.
Yeah.
The Earth has more unknown caves than it has known. That's for a fact. So I got some facts and cool things about caves, just to kind of reiterate some of the stuff. Most caves are created by water, for example. They're erosion caves. There are also ice caves and lava caves. So lava caves are the rarest cave of all. They're lava tubes.
Like empty, though.
Yeah.
They're no longer filled with lava. Or
Ancient
magma.
dead volcanoes.
Yeah.
Some of them, they found a couple of these that they can't go into because they're the most unstable.
Okay. The lava caves?
Yeah.
Would it be lava caves or magma caves?
Lava tubes, magma caves.
Okay.
Lava's technically above the surface. It doesn't
Right.
matter.
I
They're called
don't know.
lava caves.
You know someone's going to make a comment.
It doesn't matter to me. I do not care. I'm getting to be where you're tired also.
I thought you were going to be like me where you don't care what people say. The comments.
I generally don't.
Okay.
Anyways, lava caves. Rarest of all. Ice caves are also up there with being pretty rare. But yeah, these massive caves from Antarctica to every country has just absolutely massive caves. Most of the world's caves are still unexplored. So I want you to guess. The experts, tons of I forgot the word for cave biologist. I looked it up beforehand. I just forgot it. Anyways, tons and tons have kind of discussed how many caves are known versus unknown.
Okay.
Do you want to guess the estimate of how many discovered caves, like percentage, we know about?
52.
That's a really good guess. Most experts believe we know between 1% and 2%. We've discovered between 1% and 2% of cave systems in the world.
Wow.
Leaving rough 98% of cave systems undiscovered.
That's pretty astronomical.
What do you mean?
Huh?
What do you mean?
I wouldn't imagine it was that
Do you know
crazy.
how big the cave systems we know about are? And a bunch of these, I forgot to name them.
Well, I know
these scientists believe that 98% of caves are still undiscovered.
That's insane. That's
Yeah.
insane. They just found that one cave in China last year where it opened
That was crazy with the whole rainforest and with tigers. It has tigers that live in it.
in it. Yeah.
Tigers.
It was a whole ecosystem.
And a dinosaur. Most likely, you're sitting on top of some kind of cave system right now.
Yep. That's true.
So most caves are very difficult to spot. Most of the small cave systems are only about 50 meters below the surface. Some are quite deep in the ground.
Right.
Stalagmites and stalactites aren't the same thing. I just have some fun facts, just kind of lighten the mood.
What do you mean they're not the same? I mean, one hangs on the ceiling, one forms at the bottom.
Remember stalactites?
Hang on tight to the ceiling.
Yeah.
Stalagmites might reach the ceiling.
Yes. So both are formed from water dripping from the ceiling. When dissolved calcium bicarbonates come in contact with air, gravity gives them the special form. Stalactites, in particular, are very dangerous. They grow a lot faster than stalagmites, as fast as over a centimeter per year, and they are known to randomly let go of the ceiling. So, like, when we did the Tallahassee, I can't remember the name of it, the cave me and Emily did on our 1-year wedding anniversary down in Tennessee. They had this massive room we were in. And I didn't realize how big the room was.
Yeah.
It looked like you're in a big room, but not like crazy. It was 4.5 football fields wide.
Wow.
So these little stalactite or mites look like they were 3-4 foot tall. It turns on a light like a switch. They have it all rigged. And there's a measuring board up there. It was 32 feet tall.
Dang.
I would have swore it was optical illusion.
Because it's so far away.
Yeah. Then there was one on the ceiling, a stalactite that was spraying water out the side, so it was growing sideways.
Wow.
And not down.
Yeah. Some of them do that.
Yeah, so
I
it's
just
very
learned-
dangerous
learned
because
about
they
that.
actually closed part of the trail because of it.
Okay.
So a geologist came and told them it could fall anywhere for the next couple months to the next 10,000 years. They're like, it could fall any moment.
It's like a weatherman.
And they had a little tape measure up there for it too. And it was like 2.5 cars.
That's nuts.
Yeah, it
That's
was-
heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just learned. I was at the Ohio Caverns this like a few months ago, and we learned about how those crystals can go sideways, like almost at 90-degree angles. It's really weird.
So get this. There are 3 major categories of caves. There's open entrance caves,
Okay.
which they still have openings to the surface. There are closed entrance caves, which have cave-ins. A huge amount of caves are what's called entryless. Complete giant pockets that are completely cut off from the outside world.
So how do they know about them?
Like not sonar, but ground penetrating
LiDAR or whatever.
Yeah.
So
So
it's LiDAR.
the ocean, I've told you about this, the ocean in the Middle East that they think could have life from like the Devonian
Yeah.
because it fell in, got covered. It's been separate from there. It's a cave technically.
Right.
It has no cave opening, so it's not formed conventionally.
Okay.
So it's the size of a small inland sea, completely cut off. So they don't imagine there's big animals down there.
But
there
there's
could be.
life. Yeah.
There could be.
Right. It's like that lake was that in Russia maybe?
Vostok, it's not real.
Oh, okay.
We talked about it. It was in Antarctica, but
But
it was a Russian research crew.
That's what it was. But it's not the monster that's in there.
No, but the lakes are real.
The lakes are
Yeah,
gigantic,
yeah,
and it's
yeah. Yeah.
And aren't they? Yeah.
Now, you ruined my next one, but Mammoth Cave is full of wonders. If you're in Ohio, make sure you visit our amazing Mammoth Cave. Mm-hmm. Or not Mammoth Cave. Not in Ohio. Kentucky.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it kind of reaches up here.
It does. It is
The
in Ohio.
system is up here, yeah.
The system is in Ohio. But yeah, most of Appalachia all the way, I think some geologists say it's from Vermont all the way to Chicago.
Yeah.
It's all Mammoth
Mammoth
Cave.
Cave.
But no, go hang out. If you're in Ohio, though, come see the Ohio Caverns. They're great also.
Absolutely. It's really fun. It's really neat. I thoroughly enjoyed that, and I would live down there if I could.
So the deepest cave a human's ever been in is 7,200 feet down.
Dang.
About a mile.
Doesn't that, like, crush you?
So that's the deepest we can go. It's very hard for a human to be down there. You have to wear super specialized suits.
Yeah.
All of the crystals are essentially razor blades.
Right, yeah.
So they were like, if you cut your suit, you're just going to die. You're going to
Yeah.
turn into soup. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
And it's super hot down there, right?
Yeah. Humid. It's really weird.
That one cave, was that in Mexico they just found that one? With
Yeah,
the
that's
giant
the one
crystals?
that we're talking about.
Okay. Because they had to drain it first to get in there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're only allowed to drain it for like a week at a time because it'll hurt the crystals any longer.
That's so crazy. Those crystals are gigantic.
My last little weird fact for you is the animals in caves are called troglodytes. If you can only find them living inside caves.
What do you mean?
That's the name for it. It's
Oh,
called
animals that
troglodyte.
only live in the caves?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yep. Troglodytes. Everything from blind cavefish to everything.
Yeah.
No, so
Even, like, what if a human being lives in the cave for his whole life? Is he a troglodyte?
it becomes a new species.
Yeah. He grows loses all of his hair, turns pale white, has pointy ears and fangs,
I don't know about pointy ears and fangs. You would lose all your hair and turn pale white.
and your eyeballs would probably gloss over.
Yeah, you probably have to have like your corneas detached or something.
Yeah.
No, so all this to say that there are 98% of most geologists agree. 98% of caves are completely undiscovered.
That's crazy. That's
98.
crazy.
And we already talked about ones that could fit cities in.
So we got
was it New York could fit in that one in China?
Oh yeah, I think so.
I think because they put one of the big cities in it.
Yeah.
And it was about the right, speaking, it was about the right size.
And
the tallest building, I think it was New York. The tallest building would barely leave the one hole that's open.
the Empire State Building.
Yeah.
Probably.
So it was
Or that
showing.
new- the
They
Freedom
did a
Tower.
graphic to show you it laying New York laying in there.
Yeah.
And then the Empire State Building or whatever is just barely reaching the one hole.
That's nuts.
It's so deep. You look down, and it just looks like a pit to nowhere.
Right,
There's
yeah.
a rainforest down there.
yeah.
So what if that's where dinosaurs are? What if they've been living down there forever in these giant, massive caverns? Some way sustaining life. I don't know if it's bioluminescent fungus. I don't know if it's like Godzilla versus Kong. Where you actually see the Hollow Earth has light sources, and I don't know.
We don't know that, but there's one thing we do know: life finds a way.
So I don't know. What do you think about caves and dinosaurs living in giant cave systems?
I mean, I think what you say, 98% is undiscovered. How much of our ocean is undiscovered? Like 98%.
95.
Right. I mean, tracked, whatever, marked. A lot of it. Either way, that's two major areas under our feet or around us that we don't know anything about, which is crazy to think about.
And there's dinosaurs in there.
And there's dinosaurs in there. The
made
eighth
me laugh.
archetype.
All right. So what percentage you giving caves?
This one, it's 16 at least. 16 for sure.
Just 16?
Yeah.
My next one is kind of making a mix of unknown animals, but kind of not unknown animals. So convergent evolution. Another trait we've talked about.
Yep.
Emus, monitor lizards, ostrich, terror birds, and the demon duck of doom have all evolved to look similar to some dinosaurs in aspects.
What's the demon duck of doom?
I'm so glad you asked what the demon duck of doom was.
Is it a Muscovy?
We're going to talk about the demon duck of doom. Dromaeosaurus was the demon duck of doom from Australia.
Okay.
So it's the largest waterfowl species ever. They thought it was a terror bird that somehow ended up in Australia. There's several species of them. They now discovered it's actually a goose.
Okay.
So this goose earned its name, the demon duck of doom. So Dromaeosaurus is a large genus of enormous prehistoric bird native to Australia during the Oligocene and the Pleistocene. This species of flightless, progressing greatly reduced wing structures with very large legs, similar to modern ostriches and emus. They would likely been predominantly, if not extensively, herbivores, but that now is changing due to some studies. The males of the largest species are considered the tallest and the heaviest birds, though possibly exhibiting aggressive territorial behaviors. They belong to the family Dromaeosauridae, extinct flightless birds related to modern-day waterfowl.
Are they still alive?
That's the point I'm getting at. They're extinct. The dinosaurs in Australia, they're seeing,
Yeah.
could be the demon duck of doom. The dinosaurs they're seeing in Papua New Guinea,
Yeah.
these things were monsters. They found some giant wombat skulls, crushed in from
Crushed?
these guys, but they don't think they ate meat.
So is it a defense?
They're just mean.
Yeah.
They're huge and mean.
Holy crap. No, I'm looking at pictures and artist renditions of them.
They just look like absolute monsters.
Yeah.
They disappeared around 30,000 years ago as the last member.
That's not that long ago.
No. They are giant dinosaurian-like birds.
They're like if you mix a shoebill stork with an ostrich.
They're very similar to a terror bird, except way heavier.
And put them on steroids, yeah.
They're
thick.
They argue about how big they could get. These are believed to be some of the biggest birds to ever exist. So convergent evolution, they re-evolved into the dinosaur niche. They are essentially dinosaurs, depending on who you talk to.
Do you think they co-evolved or converged into the dinosaur niche, or were they just leftovers?
Either or.
And
I
they
think
filled
take
the
your pick.
niche and got bigger.
Yeah, they radiated back into that niche.
Yeah.
Because technically birds are dinosaurs.
Right.
But these guys were absolute monsters. Some biologists are now paleontologists are arguing that some of these had to be meat eaters because they find so many what appear to be small horses. They weren't horses. They were small horse-like mammals, marsupials in Australia, that were just crushed to death. It just is really odd if they're not eating them.
Yeah.
So we don't really know how big some of these got. So one of the species got easily over 11 feet tall and right around 1,400 pounds.
My gosh.
So the tallest bird, their height is thought to exceed the tallest species of bird on Madagascar, the Dinosaurs. There were also giant moas in New Zealand, the elephant bird of Madagascar. They think these guys got bigger than both. We don't have a really good complete skeletons of any of the 4 or 5 species yet.
Okay.
But they look like they were the biggest bird ever. And this is one example for the islands of like the Indonesia,
Right.
Asia, and Australia.
Right.
Of an animal that was truly immense that we almost know nothing about that just went extinct 30,000 years ago. Nothing in time.
That'd be nuts.
They were big. They were mean. What if they weren't killing cows because they were eating cows? They were out there with their freaking axe faces beating cows to death, and it was just to a bloody pulp. And then the farmer went out there, tried to shoot one, and run at him.
That'd be nuts.
They're the tallest and heaviest bird to ever exist. They don't know how big they got.
Yeah.
They have no idea. Their estimates of some of the femurs we found puts them well over, like, I believe elephant birds got 12 feet tall. Moas got 11 feet tall. So we think these guys were right there with elephant birds.
We found actual bones or fossils, like
bones and fossils.
Okay.
They've been around for 8 million years ago till 30,000 years ago.
Do any of the bones of the demon duck of doom, like match up close to anything like dinosaurian?
I mean, the birds, yeah, they're going to match up to theropod dinosaurs.
Like, what if these are
non-avian dinosaurs?
What if these are just? What if T-Rexes look like this?
Besides the bill,
Right.
I think so. Yes.
Yeah.
No, yes. That's the point. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Convergent evolution.
Right.
Species radiation back into a similar body plan. Terror birds did it in North and South America. South America moved into North America. Other giant birds in other places, like we said, the moas,
which
are kiwis, and then the elephant birds, which is our own group, were just massive animals. They took back the dinosaur niche.
We should we need to create a habit. Let's get some swan. Well, you said this is swan, right? Goose. Get some geese. We'll create a habitat for them to grow into giants, like monsters. See how long it takes. A couple generations.
For these guys? Or to get Goose to go back into monsters?
Goose to grow back into these guys.
I would rather just clone these guys. Colossus Bioscience needs to do a real animal. The Demon Duck of Doom.
Yeah.
Put those animal. Back in the Outback.
One that's not already existing still.
Yeah. Here, bring the Demon Duck of Doom back. Put that in the Outback.
Right, yeah.
How did they go extinct? I'm glad you asked. There's proposed various factors that have contributed to their extinction. Like they didn't.
They're still here.
Yeah. Paleontologist Murray and Vicky Reich suggest that the diet may have overlapped too much with similar to other large birds and animals. Subsequently, the competition with the trophic level may have wiped them out due to their oversized bodies. They are essentially outcompeted for their food sources by smaller animals. The exact same thing happened to terror birds in South America.
Okay.
New, smaller predators came in. They were carnivores.
Fill their niches.
They were better at getting the food source. Mm-hmm. They got big and slow and clunky like dinosaurs, or like really big dinosaurs, because they were just big bullies. When fast animals like cats and stuff moved in, mammals, they just couldn't compete. So they eaten out of competition. Alternative arguments propose that large birds' breeding patterns may have been the contributing factor. They suggested that these lived for relatively long periods of time and than all of their older groups of birds. However, a few young were only produced per bird. Time of maturity was considerable. So these guys they only produced a couple birds, offspring per clutch, per pair. They lived a really long time and only made a couple babies in that long time. Mm-hmm. So basically, they were not replacing themselves fast enough. They're highly vulnerable if breeding adults were lost. So if a couple breeding adults get lost in certain populations, the species could go away really
collapse
fast.
Immediately.
Yeah. So what do you think about that? The Demon Duck of Doom.
I've never heard of it.
Well, Convergent Evolution. That's one I picked because I knew the name would catch you.
Yeah.
Because it's a fun name.
But I mean, it's an animal or creature I've never heard of, and
I thought Dormosaurus.
Yeah.
It's not a saurus. Dormosaurus.
There we go.
Dormosaurus.
I like that
The
one.
Demon Duck of Doom.
He might still be alive.
And the other one I had for Convergent Evolution, so if you want to believe the roe is real, or the other giant armored creatures, they could be extremely large turtles with long necks or tortoises. Mm-hmm. We could have like the last groups of Amazonian giant river tortoises
That filled that giant niche.
that giant herbivore niche.
Yeah.
The long necked herbivore.
Right.
I don't know. It could be a possibility. Tortoises are also susceptible to that population loss for the same thing. They live a long time. They don't breed a lot. Mm-hmm. So you can get wiped out really fast.
Right, yeah.
So I don't know. What do you think about convergent evolution?
I mean, I think you made a point for it. I think you made a case for the Demon Duck of Doom.
The Demon Duck of Doom.
It's fun to say, too.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I mean, that needs to be on a cryptid fighting game.
Does it?
Well, we were talking about that on our Patreon the other night, but a Demon Duck of Doom. It sounds like a gnarly beast.
Yeah, no, it does. All right. So what do you put in the Demon Duck of Doom? I didn't hear a percentage. I don't remember.
Oh, I didn't do one. So not for the Demon Duck of Doom, but for Convergent Evolution.
Yeah.
That being an example.
More modern animals like Pleistocene animals, modern day animals, looking very similar
to what dinosaurs
look like.
Yeah. I mean, I put it at a 6 because I mean, how quickly? How much do ostriches already look like dinosaurs? Kind of with their freaking thick legs. And
yeah, they look like
weird.
Gallimimus. They look like a T-Rex.
No, not like a T-Rex. Just a.
No, I'm saying no. Ostriches look like Gallimimus.
What's that?
The long neck, fast running dinosaurs.
Right. Yeah.
They're the same animal.
Just
they look
looks
the same.
like a dinosaur. Its legs. I mean, I finally seen one up close and in person.
Oh yeah, I forgot
Like a month ago?
there was one at the auction.
I'm like touching its neck. It's putting its inches away from its face.
And that was a little one. He was still gonna. What did he say? He's gonna grow 2 more feet.
He was 7 foot tall.
Yeah.
But his legs, like, if you were to show me a picture of that ostrich's legs in person, like if I could only see its legs, didn't see the body above it, and you said,
"Oh, the feet."
Yeah, guess what dinosaur this is? It's alive, and I would have believed it's a freaking dinosaur.
Yeah, they're scary, aren't they?
Their legs, they don't look like birds. They don't.
No, they're dinosaurs.
Yeah, no part of its legs seeing it
Looks like anatomy like a bird.
No, not any bird I've seen or been around.
Yeah, so I got another one for you. I don't know about this one. I added it on the list because time scale's a lie.
Scared me. I think you blew out my headphones.
I cleared my lungs out. No, conventional time scale is a lie. Geological time is not true.
I agree.
All right, let's move on.
I agree. I mean, there's just a good example that the time scale is a lie. I think they're changing things. They're changing dates. They're changing the timeline for us, so what we perceive as humans in our conventional timeline, it's just all confusing.
Whoa. Let's calm down a little bit. I know I yelled, and I know that got you excited, but let's just calm down just a touch.
Oh, sorry. I don't know what happened to me. I was overtaken by
a demon, a spirit.
Let me calm down. I need
Somebody
a drink of water.
was peeking into the studio, too. That looked really weird over there. I seen a big pink mustache.
I need a drink of water. Let's restart here.
Oh, my gosh. No, so conventional time scale is a lie. Let's first explain what geological time is and how they do it first. Like, how they actually do radiocarbon dating.
Okay. Let's see. I'm curious to know how. I know a little bit about how they do it, but I don't know exactly.
Yeah. So I got a couple articles. First, just explaining how they say they do it, and then we're going to go into some of the indiscrepancies with that.
Debunking.
I didn't say that. I just said indiscrepancies.
Oh, well.
Geological time is an extensive interval of time occupied by a geological history of Earth. Formally, geological time begins and starts in the Archean era, 4.0 billion years to 2.5 billion years ago. This continues to present day. The modern geological time scale additionally often includes Hayden eons, which is the informal interval of extended from the 4.6 billion years ago, corresponding to Earth's initial formation, to 4.0 billion years ago.
Go on.
Geological time, in effect, is the segment of Earth's history that represented by the record of the planet's rock strata.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Geological time scale is used as a calendar for events in Earth's history. The subdivides all time, and it's named on units of abstract time, called in its descending order from this. So I never knew what these what these words meant until this. So these are abstract time like units, essentially. They're descending order from duration. Eons, eras, periods, and epochs, and ages.
Okay.
Those are actual defendable things. I didn't know
Yeah.
that. I knew eons or I guess periods. I didn't know how to like. It was just.
I didn't know the order and the rank in
Yeah.
which how they space them out like that.
The geological time units in this stratigraphy is the correlation and classification of rock strata. The fossils form and occur in the rocks, however, provide a chief means of establishing geological timescale, which the time and the emergence and disappearance of widespread species from the fossil record being used to delineate the beginning and the ends of ages, epochs, periods, and other intervals. So this is heavily based off of what they call like a common species, essentially. There's like trilobites were a good example. Like trilobite fossils were the definition of this era.
Right, because they were
When they stopped, the era ended.
in abundance in that era. Yeah.
Yeah. One of the widespread used standard charts shows the relationship between the various intervals of geological time and its interval chronostratification chart. It is a word about 4 foot long. I did not pronounce it anywhere. My brain can't comprehend it because it's like 5 words
All
with no
smashed
spaces.
together. Yeah.
Which is maintained by the International Commission of the ICS. There's a university that maintains the timescale. Did you know this?
Oh boy.
Did you know this?
No.
There's a commission that maintains the timescale.
Oh no.
I didn't know this.
Let me guess. They're an international commission.
I didn't. I just read that International Commission of
right.
Stratigraphy, the study of time, or the study of time scale, like the geological time scale.
And they're probably never mind.
Living these play a critical role in developing these time scales, undergoing evolutionary changes over geological time, and blah 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 blah. Yes, so that's how they do it. They mostly use for when life came into play, radiocarbon dating.
Okay. This IC, what was it? ISC, ICS? What was it?
Sorry, let me go back up to that.
Sorry.
ICS.
ICS. So the ICS is using the radiocarbon dating?
They are in control of, those little charts you see that say the time eras,
Yes.
epochs, all that?
Yes.
They run that.
Okay.
They are the ones are lying to you if you believe they're lying.
And that last line, though, you read about.
I'm going to go into radiocarbon dating.
Yes.
This is the most common radioactive decay and radiocarbon dating are the ways they determine this most of the time.
And they implement radiocarbon dating.
We'll talk about it.
Okay.
Let's see first if your question gets answered. I don't really understand your question, but let's see if it gets answered by what I'm going to read.
Okay.
Radiometric dating. So that's the overall term for it. Radiometric dating, not radiocarbon dating, radiometric dating.
Okay.
Radioactive dating and radioisotope dating is techniques which are used for data materials such as rocks and or carbon in which trace radioactive inputs were selectively incorporated when they were formed.
So they're dating rocks?
Yeah. You can do this with rocks.
I don't believe it.
Well, that's how fossils aren't bone, the rock.
Right.
So what do you think they were doing?
I don't think they can chip off a piece of rock and say what time this formed.
Okay, let me read.
Go on. Yeah.
I'm not saying you're wrong or right.
Okay.
Okay. Trace amounts of these. The method compares the abundance of the naturally occurring radioactive isotopes with the minerals and the abundance of the decay products, which form a constant rate of decay. So in a vacuum, there's a constant rate of decay.
Right. It's a half-life, right?
Yes.
Okay.
They use radiometric dating, was first published in 1907 by Burnham and Blotwood, and is principal source of information of the absolute age of rocks and other geological features, including the age of fossilized life forms and the age of the Earth itself. They can also be used to date a wide range of natural and man-made materials. Together, these strategical principles, radiometric dating methods, are used for geochronology, which is the study of geological time,
Okay.
and radiocarbon dating, potassium-argon dating, and uranium-lead dating. The most common one is radiocarbon dating.
Right.
They can use the other ones as well. Depends on how long or whatever. Stuff like, I believe uranium-lead dating has much quicker half-lives,
Okay.
so it's better, I believe, closer.
What do you mean, like more accurate or what?
Yes, it's better used for things closer in time to us.
Oh, understood. Okay.
It goes away faster.
Understood.
So long-term stuff, radiocarbon dating is the only thing left. By allowing the establishment of geological timescale, it provides a scientific source for information about the ages of fossils and the duration rates of evolutionary change. Radiometric carbon dating is also used to date archaeological materials, including ancient artifacts. Different methods of radiometric dating vary in the timescale over which they are accurate and the materials can be used to apply. So how much more do you want me to go into this?
I don't, something
that
about
was weird.
something about this. Once you got to the board that controls the timescale, and now this, and I've always felt like funky about radiocarbon dating.
We'll talk about it. A lot of scientists don't like it.
Right. And a lot of scientists do like it and rely on it.
Well, it matters if you're on the commission or not.
Exactly.
The International Commission of Chronostratiology.
Yeah, it just sounds evil, doesn't it?
It sounds like the evil league of evil.
Yeah, exactly.
The evil league of evil.
I think they're working with the Smithsonian.
Well, the moment in time is, which in particular, nucleus decay and unpredictable, a collection of atom radioactive nuclei decay. Basically just saying that they collect this.
Right.
It's, okay, I'm having a weird, I don't like this.
The iPad's all going.
We may have to take a break.
Okay.
It keeps minusing this when I'm reading it, and then it keeps highlighting things and doing weird, funky stuff. We've been reading this for 7 hours, and I haven't had an addition.
At least.
This is weird. Okay.
Is it still doing it?
So decay constant determination. How do they determine how fast things decay? Radioactive decay constant is a probability that an atom will decay per year in a solid foundation and a common measurement of radioactivity. The accuracy and precision is determined by the age, the nuclear half-life. Depends on the accuracy and precision of the decay constant measure. Just said a lot, okay?
Yeah, I'm trying to. Okay.
I'm going to try to explain it the best I can understand. Okay? It depends how fast the radiation decays, the rate it decays, depends on how fast it decays.
So it's nonsense. It's nonsense. It's like saying,
I'll read it again because I kind of was not being fair.
okay.
The radiation decay constant is the probability that an atom will decay per year at a solid formation in a common measurement of radioactivity. The accuracy and precision is determined by the age of the nuclear half-life, depending on the accuracy and precision of the decay constant measure. Yes.
So the half-life decay depends
On how good you're at measuring it.
and how quickly the thing decays itself.
Yes.
The rate of its decay.
Yes. Basically, we can measure how fast it normally should decay in a stable condition. Spoiler.
Nothing's.
There's a lot of stuff that messes with that.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that make.
Like everything on Earth.
Yeah, exactly. Unless you. Oh, no! Look, not this one. This dinosaur bone that fell into a vacuum-sealed chamber 128 million years ago. We found that one.
The basic so accuracies in radiocarbon dating. The basic equations of radioactive carbon dating requires neither the parent nuclei nor the daughter product to enter and leave the material after its formation. This possible configuration affects the commitment of parent and daughter isotopes to have considerable, as do the effect of any loss or gain such isotopes that sample was created.
Okay.
So did that make any sense to you, what I just read?
No.
So basically, it's saying that it's very accurate if everything is stable.
Right. So it's not accurate.
I could go on and on if you want. I'm going to read the inaccuracies in radiocarbon dating. How's that sound?
Well, I mean, so they're using this, just to make sure I understand this right, they're using this to date things that are buried in the ground that we dig up and figure out what epoch they're from. But everything in the ground that is fossilized isn't organic material, which means it's no longer carbon.
There is carbon present.
Some?
Yeah, a lot.
Okay.
The Earth, chock full of carbon.
Okay.
There's carbon everywhere.
So are they like picking off a piece of a fossil? And
Very tiny, and we're talking like microns.
But isn't the fossil mineralized, right? It's minerals
Yes.
that form that.
Yeah.
But so it's not the thing anymore.
You're getting, if you conventionally, and I'm going to be very blunt with everybody at home. Don't write me any emails about this.
Yeah.
I'm not an expert. Do your own research. I do not understand this. I read hours on this for this episode.
Mm-hmm.
The poor misreading, mumbling thing I'm doing is my best understanding of this.
Yeah.
It makes
Same
no
here.
sense.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about Cornell University's opinion here in a second.
Okay.
A prominent school.
Very.
And they published an article a while ago, 2018, about the inaccuracies in radiocarbon dating.
Oh, I bet the ICS or ISC.
Yeah,
came
everybody
down,
that did this article
dropped
is
the
dead.
hammer on them. Yeah.
The ICS. We're going to do a full episode on the ICS.
Somebody should.
Radioactive carbon dating is a key tool for archaeologists use to determine the age of plant and objects made with organic materials. The new research shows that the common and accepted radiocarbon dating standards can miss the mark, calling into question historical timelines. This is Cornell University.
Mm-hmm.
Radiocarbon dating is the key tool, like I said, blah, blah, blah. But the new research shows that the accepted radiocarbon dating standards can miss the mark, calling into question. Archaeologist Stuart Manning and colleagues have revealed variations in the radiocarbon dating cycle that certain periods of time affecting frequency cited standards used in archaeology and historical research relative in the southern Leviathan region, which includes Israel, southern Georgia, and Egypt.
Very historical region on Earth.
These variations or offsets can, as far as they found in this study in 2018, and I tried to look it up, if they redid it, they didn't, show up to 20 to 40 years missing the mark in radiocarbon dating, precise carbon dating, that can reflect the climate conditions.
24 years?
Yeah.
Well, that's not that off.
Yes, because we're talking about stuff that they're looking back a couple thousand years.
Oh, okay. Okay.
When we're talking about dinosaurs,
No, that's going to be they can't be, how
20
can
and 40 years adds up.
they can't measure
very
that
fast.
You can't, I don't know. Something that took place millions of years ago, it existed. I don't care, like, to me, do you know how much time, 28 million years, whatever. How much things could have changed, moved around in that amount of time, in that space? I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm 100% with you. I'm with you. It's wrong. A lot of scientists don't like it, and I'm not doing a great job of explaining it because I don't understand it, because it's not real. The fundamental time police, whatever the ICS is.
Time police.
Yeah. I don't know. We're going to do an episode on them.
Jean-Claude Van Damme and Time Cop.
It'll probably be a Patreon episode. So I just want to do I found somebody that broke it down to me a little simpler for my level. So here's the things that mess with the radiocarbon dating. I just want to hear if you see any that may be common on Earth.
Okay.
So let's just go. Volcanic eruptions.
Okay, happens.
Rare.
Huh? Yeah, it happens pretty much not every day, but
Meteor impacts.
happens every day.
What we found in modern history is bombs have a great effect on radiocarbon dating.
Ooh, it happens especially every day now that our military's grown so large.
Massive and localized lightning storms.
Okay, still happens every day.
Massive floodings.
Happens every day.
And most other natural disasters.
Okay. So things that happen constantly on Earth.
The environment causes fluctuations in radiocarbon dating.
Oh, shoots. Shucks.
So, back to the Cornell study. This was one study they did, and then I don't think the professor worked there anymore. I think he was asked not to be there, even though he just said it was 20 to 40 years off.
Yeah.
You don't mess with time scale in some of these high-end institutes. We know that.
Right. Because if you mess with the time scale that's been predetermined, a lot of people's work that they've done for a long time basically gets thrown out the window, and university professors are probably too tenured or too pompous to ever accept that they're wrong.
Well, we know some university professors
Absolutely. And
that are not like that.
No, and I know some that are exactly like that.
I'm
At
just
the
saying
same
it's not
exact
in
school.
everybody, yeah.
At the same exact school.
Well, we had One on.
Amazing person.
Yeah.
Amazing. But he knows who I'm talking about.
So
you know who I'm talking about.
Oh, I do. Now, looking into more of this radiocarbon dating, the Northern Hemisphere, they're working on, this professor was working on a retroactive fitted standard calibration curve for the equation. So he never even said it was fully wrong on anything. Mm-hmm. And this research disappeared. I couldn't find any updates. This is 2018. Somebody else maybe doing better research can find it. I can't. But basically what I found with everybody talking about the negative effects or the negative radiocarbon dating, a lot of biologists do not like it. Mm-hmm. A lot of archaeologists do not like it. A lot of them do, like you said. It's
Depends on what side of the fence you fall
on. But it seems like most agree that anything in the environment can affect radiocarbon dating.
No.
So it would work, and then what they're saying basically is it has radioactive decay in a standard scale. So what they originally thought is that inside the rock was a stable enough environment for that.
Inside of a rock?
Well, in the fossils, these artifacts buried in the ground.
Okay.
Everything from rainwater, groundwater, earth turning. I mean, if you think it's older or younger.
Yeah.
There's also the stuff where it could be buried with younger strata, older artifacts getting turned up and reburied. Mm-hmm. There's just a lot.
How do things get inside of rocks? How do rocks
Here's
form?
my opinion on radiocarbon dating.
Yeah.
It probably has a lot of inaccuracies. It's probably a good tool, not the only tool.
For sure.
That's the problem. Is I think a lot of people are using it as the only tool. Mm-hmm. No, we can't do that. Radiocarbon dating says it's this old.
Right.
I do agree. The dirt it came out of is probably that old.
Well,
Who's to say somebody didn't find it and then rebury it there?
right. And
Smithsonian did that.
to make it like it's kind of a way, in my opinion, it opens up the window for opportunity to lie with statistics.
Oh, 100%.
And I don't like any of that. And there's a lot of things that modern scientists use that is ballparking it, rather than actually measuring.
Which is fine, right? Wait. So that's fine because we don't understand a lot of stuff.
Yes,
and you have your educated guesses, but you got to admit as an educated guess.
Yes, and a lot of times they omit that fact.
Yes, 100%.
It's an educated guess, and it's based off a model that's a projection, and they're just following
Which
the
is
projections
fine,
of the models.
but don't lie about it.
The problem is the lying about it is the model they can project the model themselves and then just say it's following it, but it just, like I said, it leaves an opportunity. Like again, the most modern example, and I don't want to be controversial, I don't think it is, but like those PMRC tests that determine whether or not
Maybe we shouldn't.
Just determine whether or not you were positive. Everyone knows what they are. But the guy that made those said those weren't meant for that, and they turned the sensitive way up on them all. So it's no matter what, it's going to detect anything after you let it sit on that thing for a while. It's going to test. It's going to collect anything and just say positive or negative. It's going to say positive eventually. I don't know. The guy that invented the things said this, and where's he now? Vacation forever. Dirt vacation.
The Bahamas.
Yeah.
Bermuda Triangle. Or 2 season finales ago. All right. I got 3 more for you. You ready? We're coming in on the closer. We're getting there. Yeah, that was a joke. There is 3 more left, but the last one is absolutely massive. All right. So my next one is, and I'm not joking, this is written down. You said it earlier, just so you know. I had it written down well before you said it.
What is it?
They're coming from beyond the ice wall.
Very well could be.
There's pockets of dinosaurs that exist in the flat Earth model well beyond the ice wall. Every once in a while, they get over here.
Pockets? There's continents out there.
I'm not saying all those things have dinosaurs.
Oh, gotcha.
There's pockets of dinosaurs out there.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, there's probably continents full of them. Like
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and
The Lost Islands, like they talk about, is actually when you sail through the ice gap, you end up in a different sea. There's an island of dinosaurs right there.
and maybe that's where Bird flew. If the accounts of Admiral
Bird.
Yeah. Not a bird. BYRD,
I
Admiral.
thought you meant the disease, and I'm like,
Bird flew. Oh, ha! I didn't even realize that.
like,
No,
what do
that's
you
where
mean?
Admiral Bird flew his plane, was not to enter Earth. No, it's just out there, the extended lands beyond. That's all. I don't know.
interesting.
Could be.
I give this. I'm going to be generous with my percentage.
What,
guess on
1, 0?
this. -2.
You're a negative Nancy.
Hey, Cryptids Accord, expedition in 2029.
To Antarctica?
We're ice wall, baby.
Please. Oh, please. Start the movement.
I mean, we need to get a big boat. I mean, a real big boat.
Like a pirate ship with what's the little,
Absolutely not.
what's the
An
crow's
Arctic
nest?
research vessel.
What's the
so we
thing on
don't
top?
die.
I want to be in the crow's nest with my periscope.
Oh, I'll give you a crow's nest.
And like, I see it.
It'll be the tube we're dragging behind the boat.
There's a dinosaur over there. Then you'd be up there.
I'd be like, that's another chunk of ice.
No.
We've been seeing chunks of ice for the last 4 days.
If I said I see a dinosaur, you'd be up in that crow's nest
I would
faster
not
than
be.
a faster
I got
than
a
a
bad knee. I
jackrabbit.
can't do it.
You would do it. You'd find. You would
I
levitate.
don't believe you.
You would levitate.
I don't believe you.
If we were starting, no.
All right, but yeah, beyond the ice wall. I have no idea. Sure, maybe. I seen somebody said it online.
Maybe like 20.
And I always try to include that. If I see
30,
somebody say it, like
45. Huh?
45%, really.
What?
Yeah. All right, my next one, second to last. We're almost there.
Is this the good one?
No. Well, I mean, it's good for some people. Oh, reptilians.
All right.
So I have 2 big ideas with this, with the reptilian category.
All right. I mean, I'm curious.
The first one is that most of the dinosaurs, these theropods, these standing up lizards, we're going to exclude the brontosauruses on this first idea. The really big, like the building size animals walking around. Well, they could be these things. Are the reptilians themselves, whether you want to believe that whatever conventional idea of reptilians, the aliens, that they evolved here on Earth and then left the planet, some stayed back.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the ones that live underground. Mm-hmm. But for whatever the alpha draconians that came home are viewed as higher being, it's super weird lore.
Yeah.
We did a Patreon episode about it. So that these random giant lizards, and even the little theropods, all these mini T-Rexes we talked about all over the world,
Yeah.
what if they're juvenile reptilians? Whether they're hunting, they're still building up some, like they have to do these things to build up their hunting prowess.
Like they have to go through these animalistic rituals in
Yeah.
order to advance to the human-esque form of arms and legs. And
Well, they have
our
arms and legs, but
I mean, our body
more,
plan.
Yeah, more humanoid stance.
Yeah, more hominid body plan.
And even some of the people that really talk about reptilians talk about them being like sometimes getting 20 feet tall, like being absolutely monstrous.
Right, yeah.
Like the alpha draconians were like dragon size, some of them.
Okay.
So what if that's what's happening is that they are actually a part of our planet, whether they're hunting, like they talked about that hunting animals for sport was a big thing for the alpha draconians.
Yeah.
So the killing rhinos, killing elephants, hunting the big game from around the planet, being in the jungles. They talked about the ones in Louisiana, like literally wrestling alligators to kill and eat because they were hard to kill.
Right.
So what if that's what's happening in these remote areas and we're just barely seeing them?
What? They're reptilians on hunting expeditions?
There's like Predator versus Alien.
Like getting cows? Hunting cows?
Or just beating up a cow.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
Yeah.
They do say they harvest those for their amino acids and stuff like that. Their
Cattle
enzymes.
mutilation? I mean,
Exactly.
it's just
Ripping
on
a
the
cow
foot.
in half.
It's a foot soldier.
I mean, think about it. A lot of these older ones could be reptilians, and that we paint a modern dinosaur light through them. Talking
Yeah.
about these giant,
Yeah.
scaly beasts with big teeth and
Yeah.
walking on two legs. They may have looked like a guy with scales instead of a dinosaur, but by the time 180 years passes and they get a telephone,
Right.
this is what we get.
Right.
I don't know.
I don't know. What was your other thought, though, then?
It's my better one.
Okay.
Is that when they left the planet Earth, they took some of their fauna with them.
Dinosaurs?
They took actual dinosaurs with them.
Reptilians or dinosaurs?
Reptilians, when
Okay.
they left Earth,
Yes.
took dinosaurs with them.
All of them.
Not all of them.
Okay.
No, they left. Obviously, there was dinosaurs.
Oh, like Noah's Ark kind of situation?
Like, yeah, whatever they wanted for pets or food.
Right, yeah.
Or, whatever. Or mounts, like they were riding around T-Rexes.
Right.
So when they started revisiting Earth, they would leave extra ones here, or they had they had not research stations, but camps and stuff like that. So they brought their T-Rexes and their Ankylosaurus and the Brontosauruses back, their battle mounts.
Okay. I like that.
That's a Joel idea.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to expound upon
Go ahead,
that.
go
Okay,
ahead.
Here's my theory. Okay, so reptilians, the humanoid ones that we that when I refer to reptilians, that's what I'm referring to. They existed maybe a long time ago, maybe a little more recent, with the time scale. You never know. What if they were here and then they were doing like genetic experiments on Earth and they started manipulating the fauna of Earth and started mixing it with theirs and creating, that's why we got synapsids, half birds, half reptilians, half all this stuff. The dinosaur or the reptilians were like, well, we're taking over this realm now. This is ours. We're gonna all the fauna we're gonna make compatible to our DNA now. So now the reptilians are splicing their DNA, creating these new creatures and monsters to roam the earth and terrorize everything. And then that's when God steps in. It's like, whoa, hey, take my offer you for 1 second. Why, pocket sand, and throws down a giant meteor.
Rock, yeah.
And then the ones that,
I offer you one second. Pocket sand.
the ones that, just imagine God, whoa! But then, but then some of them, they seen it coming. They're like, let's get out of here. And then they got out of here.
I'm pretty sure I know that's.
So it wipes out,
Yeah.
99% of everything. Not only
Isn't that like
the reptilians,
the Great Flood idea with the Nephilim?
basically,
Exactly.
yeah.
No, I'm not saying it goofy or anything like that. No, I'm saying that
This is why
is that the
extinction.
same? Is that the same thing?
That's why extinction level events happen. These guys were before the Nephilim.
Oh, I mean it has happened. The wiping.
And maybe it wasn't millions of years ago. What if it was like
I already.
100,000 years ago?
I don't know how old I think life is.
Yeah.
I do not think it's whatever they said. Like I don't
6
even.
billion years ago?
Well, it's or sort of
Earth.
4.5 billion.
That's what it is, yeah.
But I think it's 4 billion years is when the first protozoans or whatever. I don't know.
I don't believe
I
that.
don't care.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that old. I don't think it's the 6,000 years like some really conservative Christians believe.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that the 6,000 years is a very important number to us.
I think it's the beginning of this. Where we live in now, the era we live in is probably, that could be 6,000 years. That's when it started.
But I don't know how. I don't know. I think it's a lot shorter than it is, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah. So reptilians, what's your percentage?
On my theory, I mean, That's pretty, pretty dang high. I mean, I'm pretty confident about that. About 91%.
Somebody please, at the end of this, add all these up. All right. My voice is about to go. I have one more.
I don't know. We're still talking. I don't know. You're still talking. This is like a marathon. We've been going all day.
Yeah, 9 to 9. Oh, it's past 9 now. I hope the stakes are okay.
Yeah, it's well past 9.
You can't make me laugh. I got one more to do.
All right.
This is something I never thought I would say personally. If you'd asked me 3 years ago when we started this stuff, I wouldn't have said it. I wouldn't have. And this is the one I believe. Are you ready?
I don't know if I am.
Well, you want to do a guess?
No. I'm scared.
Tired Justin's coming out. I hope you guys enjoy this. A bunch of you said you like Tired Justin. I'd probably talk more like a human. You give me a guess. What do you think I could possibly read off of this? Just so you know, I have 45 more pages.
Oh, okay. So I guess something that you wouldn't have thought of 3 years ago is probably that dinosaurs aren't real.
You know what? That's a really interesting guess. No, but that's funny. Wouldn't that have been the kicker? It came out. Dinosaurs aren't real, kids.
And then we're here for 3 more hours. You explaining why?
We may be here for another hour, but it's the opposite. No, they made it.
They're still alive.
They just made it into modern day.
Yeah.
So don't worry. I'm going to break that down a lot more.
Okay. A lot?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that they made it. And truthfully, I don't know. 3 years ago, I would have just said, no, I don't believe plesiosaurs made it. I don't believe mosasaurs or any of those guys, pliosaurs. I don't believe any of those made it. Dinosaurs especially.
Yeah.
Just too big. No, I think they made it. Let's talk about it.
Good. You're shedding your dibble.
Yeah.
That's what we call it.
So let's talk about the actual end. So we're going to end this like we started it. The actual extinction event of the dinosaurs.
Okay.
So 10 hours ago for us. I don't know what it is for these people listening at home. I don't know how you stomach this stuff.
I already want to puke.
No, so let's end it with what we started it. And the ending may not be wrong. We have a lot more to talk about, but that last idea.
It's the beginning of the end.
Yeah. Is that the extinction event by modern people, non-paleontologists, non-biologists, view it as an end-all in a couple days, most of the time.
Right.
They think like when the meteor hit, which a lot of the dinosaurs nearby did die immediately. But the fallout from that, obviously not all life died. We had super large crocodilians. We had mammals. We did have birds, tons of species of birds, turtles, tortoises, hellbenders. Keep in mind, this is one thing I really want to put out there, is that the giant salamanders, the hellbenders specifically, was around for 2 of the dinosaurs' mass extinctions in the modern day. They do not handle habitat change very well
at all. They're the canaries.
To me personally, I guess I was a salamander expert. I'm not a hellbender expert.
Okay.
But habitat assessments, I did that for a living. I got paid to do that. I did that for the feds and all. I did it for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this. Looking back with this lens, if a hellbender's environment was stable enough somewhere
to survive to now,
to survive that mass extinction event, keep in mind the meteor hit North America.
Allegedly.
Let's go with it.
Yeah, the Baja Peninsula, right?
Other side. Gulf of Mexico.
Oh, okay.
Supposedly that's the crater.
Oh, okay.
Not really the whole thing, but there's the craters in there. Anyways, there was stable enough conditions in the continent that it hit to keep hellbenders alive.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't re-evolve. They weren't salamanders hanging on to the brink somewhere and re-evolving back, And they were the same species. They survived the whole time. They rocked it. Mm-hmm. They don't handle change very well. That's why we're dealing with the loss of them right now.
Yeah.
Because they just don't handle change. They've recluded into just a very few habitats in North America now. Just from, water pollution. Ooh. Let alone the sky raining diamonds and fire.
Right. Did it really though now?
I do. In my opinion, yes, because you find that stuff.
Yeah.
I just don't think it was as extreme.
Okay.
So many species of bird, crocodilian, turtle, tortoise, they rocked it. Hellbenders, which just blows my mind the more I think about it, rocked it.
It does, actually. I never thought about that.
For these animals that don't handle change extremely well, as far as we can tell.
How the heck they make it?
How they make it. They were the last giant salamanders.
Right.
Coolosuchus and some other giant salamanders dropped off at this time.
Maybe just like maybe back then they were super tough and durable.
They could have been. I'm not
I
saying
don't
they
know.
weren't.
I'm just kidding.
But I think. Oh, so anyways, we have this idea that it ended right then. All these animals died, and that was it, and then the ones survived. No, it's not true. Many dinosaurs survived the mass extinction event. For what we can tell as far as the conventional time scale, which now we know is wrong, thousands of years. There were dinosaurs hanging on for thousands of years. They didn't all die in one day. There were animals. There were dinosaurs, plenty of small dinosaurs.
But my second grade teacher,
Yeah, don't care.
school taught me.
School taught you. I think that they hung out in these really relic places. I think why they didn't bounce back big is because of avians and mammals.
Right. The
faster breeding.
took the niches.
Yes.
Just like
So
nature.
they hung on in these weird little relic places. They kept stable populations.
And they probably had to recede more and more and more to these places, you know,
Yeah.
as time went on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that maybe the sauropods, there's no 100-footers out there. I think the 30s, 40s, maybe, I don't know, maybe still out there. But I do think when you look at where we're seeing these, a lot of these places somewhat existed at the KT event. So there's these relic areas I think could be holding populations of saurians. When you live a couple hundred years and you can go long periods of time, like they're incredibly, amazing animals. So I don't know. That's the base of this idea. Let's talk about some artifacts that show dinosaurs. Any of these, I think, have all been debunked and rebunked. You can say whatever you want about any of these artifacts I'm about to talk about.
Okay.
The golden figures from the Asha province in Ghana, West Africa, are now located in the University of Pennsylvania Museum. They seem to depict a sauropod dinosaur. It was made a trademark representation of a particular family of gold dealers who resembled an Apatosaurus, a bulky body, four-legged, long-tailed animal, except a relatively large head that looked like that of a Tyrannosaurus. Some researchers see this representation of Mokele and Bembe. Margaret Pleas and African miniatures, the gold weights of these Ashas, which are located in London right now, also depict dinosaurs.
Yeah.
An iguanodon from Dinosauria in Pursuit is also located in Bernard Heuvelmann's collection. There's just tons of these. In November of 1924, an expedition that led archaeologist Samuel Herbert and paleontologist Charles W. Gilmore to explore the Havas Canyon in the Havasquick Indian Preserve, west of the Grand Canyon in northern Arizona, where the last thunder lizards roamed.
Thunder lizards? Cool.
I may be getting tired, but I'm ending on a good note. Don't worry.
I don't know what a thunder lizard is.
We're going to talk about it.
Okay.
Near where the Tobaki Trail intersects the Lee Canyon, they discovered pictographs of red sandstone along the trail, one of which seems to show a bipedal ornithological dinosaur, much like we talked about, Gallimimus, the bird-like dinosaurs.
Okay.
The Oakland Museum discovered a rating of the prehistoric man by the Doyle Scientific Expedition in the Havasquick Canyon, northern Arizona. In July of 1997, German merchant Wilmer Grisham discovered a cache of clay and stone figures depicting dinosaurs, weird animals, humans with masks, vassals of E.T. Littoral Hill near in Ormorabo, Mexico. That one I think has been debunked and then rebunked and then debunked again.
Okay.
It's hard to tell. I don't know. Is there that big of an agenda out there to prove that dinosaurs went extinct at a time? The Time Commission may say yes.
And then why, though? Why is there that?
I mean, I don't know if you can go anti-Christian, you can go anti-education.
Yeah, you go a lot of ways.
It doesn't. So there was. Oh, sorry. There was, and by the mid 1950s, there were found 33,500 separate objects that filled 12 rooms in a mansion he had of these bathtubs full of these things. He was no longer had the collection open to public, and it's not been on display since.
Smithsonian. I heard the Smithsonian took them over and.
So most likely, this believes that the collection went to the Smithsonian Institute of Natural History.
Did you make that up?
No.
You're being serious?
Yes, thanks for taking the punchline, kid. Other figures resembling extinct Pleistocene fauna were also found, like camelops, which were giant camels of North America.
Oh, sweet.
Radiocarbon dating dates these artifacts back between 4,500 years and 1,100 years ago.
Okay.
That's a big range for radiocarbon dating.
Yeah, but they're it's extremely accurate. We should use it like the gospel.
So in 1966, Peruvian physicist Javier Carbot obtained a rock on which were painted a picture of a fish that seemingly carved thousands of years ago. He found where it came from and eventually assumed the collection of thousands of volcanic rock with pictures of dinosaurs, kangaroos, mastodons, winged humanoids, what appeared to be telescopes, open heart surgery depictions, and other fascinating images.
I've seen those before. Those rocks. So
There's once again, they've been debunked and rebunked
Yep.
and debunked and rebunked.
Yep.
You could. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know.
I don't know either. With that one in particular, I think I remember seeing there was also someone else around the region that was like either recreating them or.
Yes, there was that. I think that's a big problem with it too. It was several of these artifacts. There's a whole big list of them.
See, it's hard to know too. Yeah, just with authenticity of people and what narratives are being put out there, it's hard telling whether or not these things are real or authentic or not.
My last thing for you. You brought up hours and hours ago. The dinosaur soft tissue that was found. Oh. We're going to talk about before we move on from what I just said is so heavily argued right now. I don't know.
And this is a callback to a episode we did in season 3. Our first episode with Daryl Sims.
Was it? Did we talk about this?
He's the one, he brought it up.
Okay.
That's where I got the information from.
So,
it was our show.
Yeah. Before I continue, it's heavily argued. I don't know who's correct. Mm-hmm. It's very interesting. I've seen the microscope recordings. Mm-hmm. There is very strange soft tissues that seems to be calcified. It's very weird. It's very, very weird. All right.
They said like red blood cells too, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But tissues. Mm-hmm. So science radio hosts Bob Earhart and Fred Williams had predicted on the air in the writings of this that dinosaur soft tissue will be found not only in a rare circumstance, but rather easily when looked for it, confirmed in 2015. The journal Nature Communications report, original tissue of six of 8 dinosaur bones randomly selected among thousands in collections in the British Natural History Museum, leading to the conclusion that the preservation is much more common than previously thought. I have the other opinion that they're much younger than previously thought. Mm-hmm. The original bones, once again, there's no bones there, but they said the original bones and other biological tissues were found largely independently of claimed age of fossils. Reconfirmed in June of 2016, the Journal of Natural Communications, original biological material of Gunfleet chart, allegedly. So this is from a Proterozoic era, 1.8 billion years ago. They even were finding what appeared to be broken DNA fragments from those.
From 1.8 billion?
And this is of a worm-like creature. They called them beard worms because they look like beard hair.
So they found 1.8 billion-year-old DNA?
Yes.
I don't believe them. I don't believe this.
No, I do believe it. I don't think it's that old.
Okay, then I agree with that.
That's my point.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting at.
I don't believe there's no way and not a chance, a snowball's chance now.
So the last two I really have for you is the T-Rex soft tissue sample and the Triceratops soft tissue sample. That's the one going around right now with the squishy under the microscope is the Triceratops one.
Okay.
There's tons of information out there. It is a minefield. Do your own research. Try your best. Believe what you want to believe. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not here to tell you to do anything. It just is very interesting.
Is it confirmed? There is soft tissue though, right?
Okay. It's not confirmed because it's the biggest fight that it's a lie.
I mean, they have a piece of tissue. Whether or not what the tissue came from
100%,
is a question. But they do have a piece of
correct statement.
Organic tissue, correct?
Yes.
Not fossilized.
Yes.
It is a actual piece of organic tissue from a creature, a living creature, once living.
Yeah. So the 65-year-old T-Rex soft tissue. The T-Rex photos are actually old news. Whereas the least publication journal papers 2014, they're listed chronologically below. They're all photos from North Carolina State University discovered the original biological tissues and supposed 65 million-year-old Tyrannosaurus rex thigh bones with transparent and pliable blood vessels containing red blood cells. You can look these up. It's so weird. I don't know what to believe. With this one, though, the Smithsonian Institute, not even joking, gets involved, and it seems to disappear. I'm not joking. I'm not
believe
making
you.
it up. It's every time. I'm not. It's just crazy to me that every time there's something like this that pops up, these big biological. It's in the intro.
let's
That's why
just
I put it in the intro.
Something that pops up that kind of might throw off the time scale.
Any of it, yes. So you can look these up yourself. I highly suggest you guys at home do. I'm not here to tell you what to believe or what not to believe. There's tons of these credible universities that come out and say that they discovered these soft tissues, and that soft tissues just must be able to be preserved much longer periods of time. No, I don't. Why does nobody think? Will ever question that? Maybe it's just younger.
Right.
And I'm not saying dinosaurs are 6,000 years old. I'm not. I just don't. I don't know about 65 million years. I just don't know.
Well, I don't know either, but I'm also I'm going to believe that 65 million-year-old tissue does not exist.
There was also titanosaur egg proteins found in eggshell bits. Proteins, they break down so fast.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't make sense.
When I had to do eDNA surveys and DNA surveys, DNA breaks down so quick.
So why are they? I mean, how is this possible?
It's not. That's my assumption. It's not. They are finding these soft tissues. There's hundreds of samples. You can look up some of these articles. You can say whatever you want about them. I don't know. I did tons and tons of research for this season finale. All I'm getting at is that the conventional time scale is a lie. That meant that I don't think time's linear. I think that's a big part of it too. Is that when you are trying to put the conventional time scale on something that's not a straight line, it doesn't work. You can say it's 4.5 billion years old from this one sample you do because you're trying to observe it that way. Mm-hmm. It means nothing to the universe. It means nothing.
Right. And it's just makes it puts up my red flags, like the fact that there is this convention.
I'm gonna try to find it again. Good luck.
The ISC, whatever it was. I can't even think of the right word. I'm going to keep saying convention.
I
it's
think
not
they
convention.
have a cryptographic thing on
This council. I'm going to call them a council.
It is a committee.
Committee. That's the word. This committee. I mean, why do you need to control the timescale like so?
Because they are the science.
Why does that have to be such a thing that's set in stone that can't be changed? It's just, to me, that's a red flag. That's a red flag because all of science should be constantly questioning, constantly following, whatever results there are, and not biased results, and not lying with statistical results, and not going down that path, because it's going to lead you, no matter what, it will not lead you to the truth. It will lead you to maybe a form of the truth, but not the absolute truth. And I think with all just scientific research and advancement, truth is advancement.
International Commission of Stratigraphy.
Stratigraphy?
No, like strata.
Stratigraphy.
Stratigraphy.
No, that's a weird word.
It's like the
It sounds made up.
the chronostratigraphic charts is what they maintain.
Chrono. What's
Time dirt graph charts.
okay? They had the chronovisor, the chrono dirt charts. They got it all under their wraps. They're burying everything in the dirt.
So I guess it's time. What are your final thoughts
I think
about dinosaurs first?
Okay.
About dinosaurs seen around the world.
So I think I'm with you on they're probably just stuck around. They're probably still just here. I think the time scale is off. And with that only that last example with the rabbit and the dinosaur with his head shoved in the rabbit that was freaking the kid out. That may be the only one that's probably like some draconian, like I don't know, some weird
demon.
A demon, yes,
Space demon.
Yeah, dinosaur space demons. I don't know. Besides that one, if that's real, I mean, I do think that the time scale. Now, I am convinced this time scale is way off, like way off. And I always believed that before, but I think it's just that soft tissue example, man. Like that is so apparent that it has to be off. It just those two things cannot exist. You can't have whatever 65 million year old soft tissue and red blood cells. Those things
DNA protein fragments from 1.5 billion.
Billion years old. Those things can't exist. And I'm not like I'm not the smartest person in the world, and I'm not a scientist, but I understand basic logic, and those things don't go together.
That's going in the season 7 interview
What?
or the intro.
What?
I'm not the smartest person.
I'm not the smartest man, but I know what love is,
is.
Jenny. Or no, I may not be a smart man.
Yeah.
How about you?
I think every option we gave, maybe besides the reptilians, and the ice wall.
I still
Personally, I'm just saying in mine,
still give him
I'm going to throw those out and probably say everything else we talked about is probably all of it. It's probably all of it. The time's non-linear, time hiccups, and things get pushed here and there kind of deal.
We need the truth.
Also, the conventional time scale is just not correct.
I agree with that.
That's why, if you notice about the last 2 seasons, I've been saying conventional time scale
right.
when we talk about these things, because it's the conventional understanding, but I don't think it's right.
It's the ISC timescale.
It is, and we'll probably do a full episode in season 6 about the ISC. I wonder how much shady stuff they have. I wonder if it's as bad as the Smithsonian.
I guarantee you it is. Because I feel like this is part of the Smithsonian. Like, that wing, that entity.
I think it could be a bigger.
It could be.
Big geology. I know I said that jokingly, but no, I think as far as dinosaurs seen around the world, I think that, like I said, I think there's things that aren't dinosaurs that are being called dinosaurs.
For sure.
Like the big seal in South America.
Yeah.
I really think that was a seal. Probably an elephant seal that the guys probably never seen, and it was in the middle of the Amazon rainforest.
Right, yeah.
It's not supposed to be there.
Yeah.
And misidentified birds and stuff like that for some of these raptors that are seen. Big monitor lizards, they can stand up. They can't really run standing up, but they can stand up.
They can get up there.
They can get posture up. They spy hop kind of deal. And even whales and elephants could be a big chunk of this. The puncture holes from some of these African rhino killer or African elephant killers could be elephant tusk. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think everything from hoaxes to fakes to real dinosaurs to time slips to the dinosaurs survived in the modern day. I really do think they survived in the modern day. The more I really sit back and think about the animals that rocked the last true mass extinction, it starts making less sense. So what happened with the hellbenders is that there were probably, most of their habitat was probably destroyed. Their population was really hit hard, but there were areas that were still pristine enough to support them. Mm-hmm. They reproduce every year. They eat a lot. They can go long periods of time without eating. Mm-hmm. They're salamanders, sure. They're big salamanders, though. They have metabolisms. They can slow it down, but to produce eggs and stuff like that, they have to have a good year of food.
Right, yeah.
It's very odd. So, and that's just one example. There's, dozens and dozens of examples. That's just the one for me that really hits home of how did a hellbender rock this?
I think it's a highlight creature, though.
2 separate populations of hellbender.
Or it's a keystone creature,
For this,
For this example.
The Appalachian hellbender and the Ozark hellbender both survived this mass extinction.
Right.
The Ozark hellbender has a lot less places to go. Mm-hmm. It's not nearly as big as the Appalachian hellbender's range. Mm-hmm. Like, they're everywhere. They can technically be everywhere. I think it's like kind of stops Tennessee, Georgia. It gets too warm then.
Right.
I think it's all of it. I think there's time hiccups. I think brontosauruses probably didn't survive in a modern day. I don't think any of the big sauropods survived.
Like the super megafauna, just like our megafauna that we knew about.
Megafauna are always the first to go.
10,000 years ago, yeah.
They're always the first to go.
So when are they coming? I mean, in my opinion, they're probably, like we said at the very beginning, ebbs and flows. Our megafauna is probably going to be coming back. Maybe not in
our lifetime.
Not in our lifetime. But 10,000 more years.
Sure,
there's probably going to be megafauna again.
I think they're already working on it.
Yeah. Yes, clauses.
Well, I was saying more of the species are already working on getting bigger.
Oh, gotcha.
Because some species, like humpback whales, are conventionally getting bigger.
Yeah.
Because all the other whales are dead.
Right. Yeah.
So,
I bet you
more food.
Here's another theory this is making me think of though. After an extinction level event, I bet megafauna fill back in niches, and then we have our massive guys again.
They're normally the slowest to get back in.
Yeah. Or sorry, I think I said that completely backwards. After the extinction level event, wipes out the megafauna, then we start over and it builds until we get the megafauna, and then we get another extinction level event.
Yeah, so megafauna are generally specialists, and they're always the first to go.
Yeah. So, I mean, maybe we're far...
But look at Africa.
Are we the megafauna now?
No, we're not big enough.
No,
well, some humans are. Some humans do get big enough to be classified as megafauna.
I mean, not in the sense of size, like conventional, just based on their size, but as a collective and how much we've dominated the earth now.
No, that's called dominating species.
Oh, okay.
They don't have to be megafauna to be dominating species.
Oh, okay.
It's ants.
I'm mixing.
Just so you know.
Huh?
Ants.
Oh, it's ants.
Ants are the dominating species of the planet Earth.
Gotcha. We're just
They outweigh us.
We're the megafauna ants.
I think it was 10,000 pounds to every human.
Something. I think we talked about it on a
It's some crazy,
Patreon
it's
episode.
some crazy number.
Yeah.
No, so I think it's all of it.
Yeah.
I hopefully you guys have enjoyed this. It's very different than any ones we've ever done. They'll always be different. I hope you guys enjoy 6 episodes. Some of them are a little short. This one is 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
I have been the great and powerful Mystery.
And I've been JClone33.
Before we wrap it up, I know we're kind of doing that closer. I want to say thank you. 5 seasons.
Yeah.
How amazing.
That's a lot.
Which would conventionally it's right around 250 episodes, but there's more than that because of
Patreon.
counts and well, I'm not just talking about publicly. I think it's like 330 or something like that.
It's a lot.
But thank you guys so much for your support. Your constant love and support that we get from you guys is truly amazing. This is so much fun to do. Mm-hmm. These season finales always drive us crazy. It drives me crazy, different reasons that it drives Jay crazy.
Right.
Because I always try to outdo myself. And I never know if I do or not until it gets published. But I just want to really just take a second and just say thank each and every one of you. It really means a lot when we meet you at conferences, we get to meet you at shows.
Yeah.
When you send letters to the P.O. box, because we've been getting a lot of those, which are super nice.
It's been life altering.
It has been. It's been crazy.
And not financially or nothing like
No,
that.
but
Not like that at all. But
spiritually.
Spiritually, yes.
Yeah, no, I definitely. So I just wanted to take a second and say we do it all for you guys. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for your support. It's so much fun. Looking forward to season 6 with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Hey guys, thank you for listening to Cryptids the Corn podcast. Remember, the best way to support the show is share it with a friend. But if you are craving more of the J clones
And more from Mr. E.
there's always extra content on Patreon.
And our paid member space on cryptidsofthecorn.com.
We'll catch you next time with more exciting, fun, and informative information. Bye.